Crossover.
Oh, killer crossover.
Just crossover. You just crossed him over. Danced to
another victim to the crossovers. Cross him up and sit him down.
Time for the crossover. And time to welcome back Matt Josh.
We back.
How we doing?
So hype.
Hi, Matt Josh. Now, you seem more excited this week that Josh is here.
Yes.
Which means you weren't actually that excited last week.
Oh, wow.
When you were so happy for him that he was on vacation.
I was so happy for him that he was on vacation.
Yeah, I definitely believe you.
No, I was, because he deserves it. This man works so hard, and he deserves some days off.
You have said that 9 times.
And I will continue to say it.
9
Honestly,
seems low.
I want Josh to go back on vacation because I love him so much.
So Josh, he was doing this thing where he was like, he was obviously, yes, happy for you that you were getting a week off, but he wanted to make it clear how happy he was for you, to make it clear to everybody else that he was definitely okay and not going to have a worse time without you here.
He wanted everyone to know, if you would like to hand me the martyr baton,
yes,
I would take it.
That's right.
Because I'm going through something right now.
It was
but
not
I'm
very
so
long.
happy. I'm so happy I'm going through it.
Don't ask me about my day. Don't get me started.
Yeah,
One
exactly.
of those things.
We saw through it immediately.
Well, you said it. You pointed it out. And then from that point on, I go, all right, every time I bring up Josh,
We're so happy for him.
I'm going to purposefully say,
You know, Josh,
how
who we're so happy for that he's on vacation.
Every time, like, it'd be the middle of the show on a Wednesday, and like Jake Janicek sitting in for Josh Hodson, who's so happy he's on vacation.
Oh, however, Josh could have had a better week. I mean, he did still have to come to work and work.
Yes,
last week. So I did see Josh last week.
Yes, I was here in the building last
we
night.
all saw Josh.
How was the vacation overall? How many movies did you watch?
A lot.
So many.
So many.
Josh, I watched Project Hail Mary.
Whoa. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Yeah.
Takes?
I liked
Your
it.
man Gosling.
Yeah. Gosling rules. God, that's number one, obviously. Gosling rules.
Yeah.
What'd you think of Rocky?
Rocky is hilarious.
Yeah.
Amaze. Wow, amaze. You kind of just jump around like this a little bit.
Yeah.
It drug a little bit, like, come on, get on with it. But I get it. But
it did drag slightly.
Yeah.
It could have, though, been a
movie,
lot
though.
longer. They cut through so much of that book.
They also
makes
added in
sense.
stuff
Person
that
who
wasn't
read the book.
necessary.
Yeah. What?
They also added in stuff that wasn't
That
necessary.
wasn't like the whole, like the woman singing,
the
like
karaoke.
the karaoke, and like that woman in the book is like, she is so much meaner, and she's supposed to be like, it's perfect. They made her a little bit too relatable
okay.
in the movie, which
Interesting.
as people, we've read the book. That's the first thing I think we said to each other.
That's
We're
my
like,
biggest complaint with it is I thought they mishandled the strap.
Yeah.
part of it,
but like
Rocky was great. I was
Rocky's
expecting to
perfect.
think that it was going to be terrible because, you read the book and how it's described. It's sort of hard to make it into a movie thing. And they did an awesome job with it.
That's great that you liked it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I did like it.
That's dope. It's a good movie. It's a very good movie.
I
I feel
like
like they could have made 5 different movies, like, from how they did it. And I think
franchise.
I think there was 5 different ways to make that movie.
Okay.
And I
That's
think
what they should have done. Make all 5 of them, put them out in theaters, and people could see a different movie every time.
That'd be such a waste of money.
Clue tried to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite. I love that movie because it's just such a sort of a campy.
I watched it somewhere
movie.
in the last 2 weeks. I don't know
Yeah.
when.
Is
But
there
when it was released, they had 3 different endings, and you didn't know what ending you would get when you went to it.
a super popular American movie where the bad guy just wins? He just straight up, like, and I'm not talking like Infinity War, because it's like, they were coming back to all like
Friday Night
beat 'em.
Lights. They lose in the state championship game.
I have not.
spoiler alert.
I have not
The Big
seen Friday
Short.
Night Lights.
The
Oh,
Big
yeah, The Big
Short, the
Short,
banking wins.
Yeah.
I guess, technically, but they all get rich. Like Barry gets rich, and
Yeah, do they look happy?
and yeah, but that's I'm eye rolling.
I think you're
They're
sort
all
of
rolling
missing
in their
the
money.
entire joke here.
I
which
mean,
isn't
they
a
all
surprise.
those guys were like, oh my god, we like the bank still won, but I'm rolling in my $100 million that I made off of like this bet. Like
you definitely did not understand The Big Short. That's
I love The
takeaway.
Big Short. I love The Big
I'm
Short.
sure you love it in the
I
same way
love The
that
Big
people
Short.
absolutely got the wrong message from Wolf of Wall Street.
And Joker.
It's a very popular TikTok movie these days too. The Big
It
Short.
is
I
a
mean,
very
it's-
popular TikTok movie.
Isn't it Adam McKay? Like that's that style and
The amount of
love
times
the
that I
movie.
see Steve Carell at that hibachi place, you know,
you mean
on-
Mark Brown?
on TikTok. Is that what he?
I think
who
that's
was?
the name. Yeah,
No,
Mark
Bomb or Brown?
Bomb.
Okay, it's
Bomb.
one of those two. It's Brown or Bomb.
Bomb.
There's another one where there's a
Bomb.
lot of really good
Bombardier.
like what are you doing?
Bomb in an airport.
What
Yeah,
is that?
you ever seen Meet the Parents?
No,
All right, never mind then.
no, I haven't.
You know,
It's
I
a
kind of
bomb
want to
in an
ask you
airplane,
about
bomb, bomb,
more
bomb.
societal invested movies and see what your takeaways was.
No, I mean
Matt's
I-
movie takes.
I
Hey,
did.
so have you seen Aaron Brockovich?
I did very famously say that I didn't like the end of Inglourious Bastards.
Those poor people were just trying to run a water company.
What was that? What was that one movie with
Are you a Thanos had a point guy?
I mean,
He is.
I
He's a
mean,
Thanos
he
had a
wasn't
point guy.
he wasn't completely wrong. Like there are a finite amount of resources, you know, that you
You are
can
a
have.
Thanos had a point guy.
No, I don't believe in mass genocide, which is what he did.
Good. Middays with Matt.
that
Most
not,
against mass genocide.
not for mass genocide at all. I think that he was definitely, you know, off base, but he wasn't on the worst. You know, he wasn't.
He had the right idea.
He had a concept of a plan.
That's
clearly,
what a lot of people say. He had the right
Hey,
idea.
often it works out for him.
it did work out for him. He
Yeah.
did it. He accomplished what he wanted to accomplish. He was right there. If it weren't for that damn rat.
What do you
know?
think was inside of Marcellus Wallace's briefcase? Or inside the briefcase of Pulp Fiction?
I haven't seen Pulp Fiction.
I just want to know your interpretation on things that are up for interpretation.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
It's Marcellus
do you think the
Wallace's
top-
soul.
Kept
That's
spitting
where I was going. Yeah.
in Inception.
See, I haven't seen Inception in 15 years.
This
I
also
saw-
works.
I
Now
saw
we
it-
can just drill in on all the movies.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw it when I was like 12, and I got really scared when the wife was flipping out in that like hotel scene. Like she was going crazy. Like that scared me. As a
I
kid.
know because we've already talked about it, but it would be really funny if you completely missed the reveal in The Sixth Sense.
I was floored. I was shocked.
Well, I remember
I
you
was-
telling me that. And
I
think-
was like,
I don't think that's like I think a lot of people were like
Oh,
that's sort of.
Here's one. You have taken your TikTok generation has taken on a liking to American Psycho.
yeah.
What do you think?
I've TikToked that.
What do you think?
Yeah.
What is your
You're like a
interpretation?
jacked up from
I
Sandlot
think,
right there.
um,
What is your interpretation of how that movie, like what happens?
Well, I don't really know how it fully ends. I just know
Oh,
that.
so you haven't seen it.
No, I've only seen clips of
Oh,
it
okay,
though. Like I've
okay.
only seen the Get Ready with Me.
I
I've
thought
only-
you had seen it.
I've only seen the Get Ready with Me with
To return
Jason.
some videotapes.
Yeah, like I've only ever seen. He's like, I use facial moisturizer in order to make sure. That,
So
like,
is that actually what has caused the proliferation of the stupid social media get ready with me stuff?
oh,
Do we tie it all the way back to American Psycho?
probably, maybe people are like, oh my
Lord.
god, I also use like a deep puffy moisturizer and an ice pack. You know, like that's dope.
Why are we so sad that we watch videos of other people getting ready to then like what does this do for people? I don't get it.
I would
Some
never
people
do that.
find it very calming, apparently. And
Calming how?
I don't know. This is literally how Alex
Promise
Earl.
you I am
You know
not
who
calm.
Alex Earl is? You know who Alex?
Yeah, but
Earl
that's
is?
different. Dudes
She-
are just trying to see her naked.
No, but
Okay.
like she does have a following of women who very much enjoy her getting ready in the
Yeah.
morning and are like,
I
wow,
bet
this
not.
is how. No, this, no, this
what
is.
do you think her follower percentage is? Dude,
I actually do think it's about 70-30 chicks to
So if
dudes.
you had to
no chance. There is no
I
chance.
think a
of that.
lot of chicks follow
No
her.
chance.
I think a lot of chicks follow her. They're like, oh my god,
0%.
look at how she uses heatless curls.
That's an evolution of makeup tutorials.
yes,
though, right?
yes. I
Yeah.
think very early on, you're probably more
There
correct.
is
I
no
think now
way that she has more women followers than male followers.
But I will tell you right now, like when
She
she
has
first
more
got
bot followers than
when
any.
she first got popular, there were way less hot chicks on the internet that were very accessible. Now we're inflated. Like the inflation of hot chicks on the internet it's very
I
high.
don't know if you're
There have always
right
been
in
hot
that.
chicks
Yeah,
on
it's
the
always
No,
been
internet.
but
hot chicks
there's
on
never
the
been more hot chicks on the internet.
feels like a
Never
very-
been. There's never
Like,
been
in
more.
a total volume.
You
sense,
just
of
you can
course.
walk into a hot chick
I don't
wherever
think
on
Matt
the internet.
understands how the internet has evolved.
There's so many hot chicks now.
Like hot chicks per capita is always been the same.
No, I think hot chicks per capita in the internet is so high.
No, it's the same.
Like
Volume is
Anna
higher.
Kournikova was like the single most searched thing in 1996.
I'm not saying
that.
that. No, I'm just saying though that like we've gone like the hot chicks used to be notably famous and had to do things,
Now,
right?
now
if you
Debbie
were
in accounting can
be a hot chick, exactly.
I'll sell feet pics. That's fine.
Yeah. Anybody can be a hot chick now.
There.
Well, just because you can make money off of the internet now
But
doesn't mean you like
when we did This Week in Women's History.
Webcams
all
have
right?
been around a lot longer than
when-
only
Right, that's true.
When
That's
we
true.
did This Week in Women's History, right? All of these
the most progressive show.
the most
That's
progressive show on 1620 The Zone. All of these very pretty women that Josh would bring up, they would have to be like in movies or in shows or like
Well, that
have
was
some
the point of the bit.
have some sort of like massive accomplishment. Where
Would you
now
preferred someone's like, here, let me link you to the Facebook page of my old English.
we only had one rule. that would have been a great segment. That would have been
Because the
an
structure,
awesome-
the structure of the segment was I would say the name, he'd look it up a photo and go, okay, who is this person?
Yeah,
And then
what
I would
have they
have to,
accomplished?
that's my
So
English
now he's
teacher.
using the structure to make his argument.
disgusting. Absolutely
The
disgusting.
most progressive show,
I'm just-
indeed.
Just telling you, it's never been. You can just walk into a hot chick on the internet. It didn't used to be that way. You had to be. You had to accomplish something. There was only one rule with This Week in Women's History too, which was the certain type. Like there was one certain specific thing.
blondes.
No. There were adult actors or actresses.
sure.
We didn't want to do that.
They needed to be adults.
We didn't want to
Yes.
turn. We didn't want it to turn into that hour, that segment. It was about the
and it never did.
It never did, other than the one time that Josh picked 5 Playboy models,
I
and
didn't
then
do that on purpose.
that-
I didn't know.
that, and then I mean, there was a very common theme. It was either Playboy models or Charlie's Angels. Like those were one of the. We always got. There was
So
one of
many
those.
There's really only
There's-
like 6 Charlie's Angels.
We actually, that's what Josh.
What was the Charlie's Angels movie you grew up with? Mine was the Lucy Liu one.
Yeah, with Cameron Diaz and
Yeah.
Drew Barrymore.
That movie
This
rocked.
is Kristen Stewart.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's,
yeah.
Who are your Charlie's
What?
Angels?
That a Charlie's Angels movie came out when I was like,
Yeah. Who are they?
I don't know, I didn't see it. I
Wait,
didn't
wasn't
watch
Minka
it. But
Kelly one of them?
It came out. It came out. I saw a bad teacher with Cameron Diaz, and that was the.
That is not Charlie's Angels.
No, I know, but that was the first like, oh my god, who is this woman movie? I was like,
That was me during the mass.
yeah. I saw Cameron Diaz. I was like,
that was my
like-
introduction to Cameron
I was
Diaz.
like, holy crap! I was like, this is.
The movie came out in 2019.
Charlie's Angels 2019.
Isn't there? No, there was one before
and the
that.
Charlie's Angels were Kristen Stewart, Naomi Scott, Ella Belinska, Elizabeth Banks. Oh, she was Charlie, probably.
Yeah.
That'd be my guess.
That was the twist.
Nailed it.
Is this
Charlie is a girl.
Wait,
Amazing.
shouldn't they have done this Ghostbusters style where Charlie's Angels are 3 men and then it's Elizabeth Banks?
That would be funny.
Or is that not progressive enough in
Did they just get the
2020?
3 Hemsworth brothers?
Oh God, Luke! Everyone forgets about Luke Hemsworth.
I like it. I like that a lot.
I guess that's the
Elizabeth
same
Banks
joke from Ghostbusters.
Could they be beefing with the Baldwins
Oh,
brothers?
fun.
This is good. Yes. See,
Alec and Steven? Or
My-
no, get the Wahlberg.
my Charlie's Angels were Cameron Diaz, Drew Barrymore, and Lucy Liu.
Yeah.
They were the best.
Lucy Liu.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
He's about to find out who
Is this
Lucy
an
Liu
impromptu version of
Kind of.
She's famous from Kill Bill, Volume 1.
Oh, is she the one who wants to kill Bill?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who wants to? Who's the actress who wants to kill Bill?
Uma Thurman?
Yeah.
Beatrix Kiddo. Spoiler alert.
Jason writes in, always love it when the Gen Zers tell me about old internet.
I'm just saying, new internet now. It's very easy. It's very
it's
easy.
always been
It's
easy.
always
No,
been
but it's
easy.
never been easier. Butt liquor. Our prices have never been lower.
You do this take like once a week. You're like, it's
It's never been easier,
It's never
though.
been
It's
easier.
never
or
been
never
easier.
Been harder.
I mean, it's very easy now to do a lot of things.
but you forget about
Oh, wow,
all
Lucy
of the
Liu.
times before that.
Lucy Liu. Cool.
Cool.
Cool. Yeah. Cool.
I kind of like that for you.
Yeah.
That could be a new thing.
Yeah. Cool.
My yeah
Of the week.
Yeah.
That's like the thing. Yeah is like the thing I say where it's like, I know, I already know. Yeah.
You're trying to get someone through the point that they're making.
Basically.
Because
I
you
was
would like to talk again.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fly Paper. Was that a good movie?
Never heard of it.
I don't know. Tell me about it.
Are you looking up Lucy Liu?
Yeah,
movies?
Lucy Liu movies. Fly Paper. It's directed by Klaus Hotch.
Sounds terrible.
What?
It's with Craig Sheffer, Robert Loggia, Sadie Frost, John McGinley,
This all sounds made up.
Leanna Douglas,
Is this a Lifetime movie?
Talisa Soto, and Lucy Liu.
Oh, she's in the Devil Wears Prada too.
Oh,
She's
I never watched that.
What's she
I'm
been
not
up
seeing
to
it.
lately? Just Devil Wears Prada too.
This is like Fly Paper is like basically Lucy Liu is sent to go as a love decoy to test another person's fiance Joe, and then Joe screws the pooch.
So this seems like a Lifetime movie.
Probably. That probably is.
She's what? She's sent to do what?
She's like a love decoy, like go and flirt with my fiance to see that he's loyal enough, and then he messes up. He flirts back too much.
She could have been a fembot in one of the Austin Powers.
That's what I was thinking. I was explaining.
Yeah.
I watched the first one on my vacation.
Oh, what a movie! Good one.
I haven't seen any of the Austin Powers movies.
No one's
That
surprised.
makes sense.
Yeah, baby. That's all I know from it.
Yep, you got it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Got
That's
it down.
Yeah.
Just like American Psycho from
Yeah.
Getting Ready with Me.
The amount the amount of time that I bring up Dorcia when I've never seen that movie. I just go, my line is like, man, it's harder to get a reservation there than Dorcia. And that always hits with people.
That
you know?
is, you're
That
so
was a good one.
ridiculous.
I'm such a fraud, dude. It's awesome.
Yep.
Lucy Liu's in Shanghai Noon, a very underrated, not talked about enough comedy.
Connor, are you a Shanghai Noon guy?
Never heard of it.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
Jackie Chan, Owen Wilson.
Have you wandered into Shanghai Nights not knowing that it's a follow-up?
I've at least heard of Shanghai Nights.
Shanghai Noon is great. Do you rewatch the Rush Hour movies on your week off?
No, I do not like the Rush Hour.
You don't
movies.
like Rush Hour?
The first one is
What,
okay.
you hate Chris Tucker?
No, I enjoy
Wow.
Chris Tucker. I don't enjoy Jackie Chan saying the N-word that many times.
Well, aside from that,
Really, no way around it.
Yeah. I just like rewatching Jeremy Piven's scene where he's like fitting them in suits. I think that is one. Apparently, that was all improvised. It was an awesome scene in cinema.
That guy
Okay, so
had-
you haven't seen the movie either. You just
No,
think
I
that-
have. No,
okay.
I have.
Okay,
I have.
good.
Yeah.
Jeremy Piven has like an outstanding background career before he became Ari in Entourage, which launched him into sort of being a known person. But you see him as like either an extra or a bit character in all of these sort of
Mhm.
movies for a long time.
Yeah, it's incredible. Like that Entourage has taken. Not only is it just like Entourage has been a clip thing on Instagram and YouTube.
Yeah, there's no way you haven't Sparks Nose Dodge.
But the thing is that there are now people who like make different Entourage scenes. They're like, if Entourage were today,
Yeah,
this is
that's-
what an
yeah.
Entourage scene would look like, and they've become very popular.
Because
Very
it's-
popular.
It was a stupid show that was insanely popular and super consumable. Like I've watched all of it. And it was just nonsensical. It'd be like Turtle has this happen. It basically, in a lot of ways, the plot was meaningless, and it was like these guys are just going to hang out for 30 minutes.
Do stuff.
Come join them. There might be boobs. That's basically what it was.
That's right.
I mean,
They-
like,
What a
there's
plot.
no point in summing up any of the actual plot because Vince is always the movie. It's always going to work out no matter what happens.
Yeah, I got introduced to Entourage through the movie. They had Entourage to the movie, which had Ronda Rousey. And I was like, what is this? And then I never saw it, obviously. But I was like, that's when I first discovered
Ronda
it.
Rousey, the actor.
Yeah, the actress, Ronda Rousey.
I read that
The way your
HBO.
brain gets to stuff
What?
should be studied for centuries.
She's in that movie. She's a big part.
Wired different.
Yeah.
HBO is going to start, since everyone TikTok's HBO shows, HBO is just going to put their shows
Yes, I've heard this.
on
Yeah.
TikTok.
Yeah.
Vertical movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the end of society, and it's my fault. It's all my fault.
Mhm.
It's completely I am guilty of this. I am the person, like all the people are like, oh my God, the attention span has never been lower. We're all screwed. My bad. Like, that's how it is. I'll probably download that app and enjoy it greatly.
And soon you'll be telling us about how it's the greatest or most accessible or whatever.
I'm
it's
just
ever
saying,
been.
it's like you cannot deny that it has never been easier to find a hot woman on the internet, and it's never been easier to make money off of being a hot woman on the internet. It happens every day.
Well, I would argue that the volume would mean it's harder to make money.
Let's just say, like, if ever in any period of time in which the internet has existed, if you were seeking out hot women, you would have no problem finding
They were always there.
always.
Yes.
My issue with what you're saying
The
is
only limit would be your ability to be creative with what you were searching for.
yes.
That's a very good point. These are all valid points. These are all things I agree with. I just still think, though,
You're not going to stop saying what
no,
you're going to say.
no.
Yeah.
no, I'm
We
not.
can't win.
The quantity, no. In this case scenario, the quantity has never been higher, and you can't convince.
No,
me
I
otherwise.
agree with the quantity has never been higher.
Quantity, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know that
There's just
people-
more stuff on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. In
There's
general.
also a lot more competition for all.
That's what I'm saying. The internet is bigger. There's more everything on the internet.
I can claim that, like, yeah, I was born before the iPad, and I was alive before we had the iPod, and I do have some semblance of how things were before all of that became super accessible. But still, the idea of like what the 90s internet and the early 2000s actual internet looked like is still kind of just farcical to me. It's just like a myth to me.
I bet there's like a website where you could turn your internet back into 2000. I bet.
Isn't the Space Jam
Would
website?
immediately
Yeah.
play the dial-up sound.
See,
Oh,
that's the
man.
thing. Like my
Mom's on the
idea,
phone.
my idea of like what the 90s internet looked like is Zola's algorithm in Captain America Winter Soldier, where you have all those computers there and it all has to, like, all the wheels are spinning and everything like just gets like booted.
Yeah,
No, that
if,
It's
like
just a
that.
regular computer.
if you go to spacejam.com/1996,
Do it.
it is the way the internet looked when the original Space Jam movie came out.
I like that this
The
is the
jam.
website.
Whoa. Oh my God. So what do
Is there a visitor counter on the bottom?
No, there isn't.
Is there a guest
actually.
book that he could sign?
what?
That's how
That was
that's
a
how
thing,
websites
Matt.
worked. Yeah.
People would have individual websites, and there would be a counter so that they knew how many people were visiting the websites. And there could be a guest book where you could sign in and say, "Hey, I stopped by."
Really?
Yep.
That's crazy. Jump station. What's that? Whoa. I just went to the jump station. I don't even know what is a jump station. Oh, now you go to this other link. Oh, and now I can Looney Tunes karaoke.
Whoa.
Oh no, I can't.
Now
do
you're
They
this.
did have karaoke in the 90s too.
Yeah.
This is back when like pop-up ads were actually pop-up ads and they weren't just literally embedded onto the page.
Yeah.
And so the page wouldn't move around like 40 different times while you're trying to click on one thing. That did not happen. It would just literally give you a separate window.
You could
for a
even be
pop-up.
listening to something while perusing the internet without fear of the pop-up video, then immediately start blaring while you're on the website.
That's right.
Wow. I'm gonna learn about the making of Space Jam. Look at that. That's incredible.
You could do that among many things on the
Did you
internet.
like
That's pretty
the
cool.
Space Jam movie
Oh
as a
yeah.
child?
Oh yeah. I had it on
But not as much as you enjoyed Space Jam 2?
I had a VCR. I had a VHS tape of Space Jam.
Okay.
I would watch Space Jam all the time. I had a little mini hoop, and I would play
Nice.
on the basketball hoop while watching Space Jam.
What that website won't tell you is that it was really a psyop by Michael Jordan to scout his opponents upon his NBA return.
They
We
did.
learned that in The Last Dance.
Yes, we did. Where it's like they would have
I
a
totally
court
believe him.
at Warner Brothers Studios. That was great.
Well, I don't know why you would ever question any of the narrative of which you might put forward.
Especially in that documentary.
I think honestly, one of my favorite songs of all time is "Fly Like an Eagle."
Gonna
And it
scout
just,
this Sean Bradley guy.
yeah, that and Jawan Howard apparently would come down and do runs with
Oh.
Michael Jordan.
One of your favorite songs of all time is Fly Like an Eagle?
Yeah,
Why did you just say that?
because it's in the Space Jam movie.
Oh, okay.
The
And
Seal
it's-
version.
Yeah, it's like
It's
I was-
also my,
I think it
my
stems
son
from
loves
that.
that song right now, and he calls it the Eagle song. And so we'll be driving, and he'll often tell me that he wants to hear Wheels on the Bus or the Eagle song or
Yeah.
Baby Shark or whatever. So it's in pretty good company for you.
Do you say anything but the Eagles, man? Come
I'm
on,
like,
man.
Well, I'm always like, what if we play the Steve Miller Band version and he doesn't like that one?
For the longest time,
He does not like that there's multiple versions of the same song that he's aware of.
That's a good
because
take.
it is confusing.
do the Eagles have a version of Fly Like an Eagle?
I don't know if the Eagles
For the longest time, I thought Fly Like an Eagle was by the Eagles, and I look and I would say to Siri, "Hey, play Fly Like an Eagle by the Eagles," and it would be like Steve Miller Band, and it'd be like, "All right, cool, this do like this works perfect,"
Yeah.
I just thought the Eagles could fly like an eagle. It would make the most sense to me.
They did not do that song.
They did not.
I don't even think they've covered it.
All right, boys, this was fun. Great time. Always enjoyed it.
Awesome. We didn't even talk about Zay Flowers.
I know.
We'll talk about him tomorrow. We can talk about Zay Flowers whenever.
Did you know that Zay Flowers would be 16th all time amongst Chicago Bears receiving leaders? Whoa.
And that's just I'm walking into a bear trap when we talk about Zay Flowers.
Anytime you talk about receivers, I'm going to reference that you've never seen a good one in your life.
Once again, it was one of those things where we were texting last night, and we were basically doing the crossover over text.
It was weird.
I was like, this is turning into the crossover.
A questioning look from my wife, which is like, why are you smiling and laughing while you're texting right now?
Well, because Happer and I got into an argument, and then like the crossover, Schaefer just swooped in out of nowhere. And I was like, now I got both them coming from both sides.
You put me in the text.
Well, because like I like talking to both of you at the same time, even over text now. Like when I text you guys separately, I feel weird about it, Like serious, I think it's so weird. Like I
asked me a question, I answered it, and then I
answered it quickly.
Because we spent an hour together in the car, and it was
it wasn't about that.
Oh.
Yeah, the one that.
Oh yes, you kind of ruined that because you answered it. You're totally right.
There's other teams.
I was thinking LSU.
You could punt Iowa out of there. You could put in LSU.
You
Texas.
Could put LSU. But
where are you gonna get your linebackers?
See, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, dang, like Happer's got the right recipe because it's Ohio State and Notre Dame.
So the question was, you only have 3 colleges to build an entire NFL team from. Like of all, people that went to those schools, which 3 colleges are you picking?
Yeah.
And I within 10 seconds said Ohio State, Iowa, and Georgia. Next question.
And I was like, all right, if I wasn't going with any of those, then Iowa would not be on my list. Georgia definitely would be. Ohio State would be on there.
Easily.
I think Texas, LSU would both be on there as well. But then I was trying to think of pass rushers and was suddenly not entirely sure where I would go with
if
that.
You go
Oregon should probably be mentioned in there.
Maybe. But if you go, because you can get O linemen from Oregon, right? For sure. If you go Texas,
you'd have every position.
You'd have Byron Murphy from a D line perspective. I think they got a couple tackles offensive tackles in the league that are pretty good too. I was thinking LSU because I was like, I'll just get Joe Burrow and you just put him with all the Ohio State wide receivers.
You just want Justin Jefferson,
kind of.
Well, why would you need Ohio State wide receivers when you have LSU wide receivers?
Exactly. I mean, if you can just do it both ways, but then.
Your receiving core would be insane. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Jackson Smith, Njigba.
Ohio State very sneakily over the last couple of years has some high-level offensive linemen as well that you can get Donovan Jackson. He's been pretty solid.
He's solid.
Yeah, Paris Johnson is an animal.
Animal seems unfair to
him. He's a killer.
He's a human.
So he's great. But Ohio State and Georgia.
You're convicting him of murder?
No, I'm saying that I don't
know who my quarterback would be on that team, but I don't really care.
Will Howard, your guy Stroud.
What did you say?
Stafford. Take Matt Stafford.
I would take Matt Stafford, who went to Georgia 100 years ago.
Yeah,
that's right.
Who do you take? I was thinking that too. I was like, who'd be the quarterback there?
I would consider Jaden Daniels, but I wouldn't give him number 5, so he would not play for me.
There you go.
Are you, by the way, going to be on the train of every time Ohio State has a great quarterback, you're just going to fade him? Because I think it's a perfectly fine take. I'm not.
I'm fading Sand.
And you almost faded
Fields.
You faded Stroud.
I faded Stroud, but then I talked myself into Stroud, and I was right the first time.
You were.
I was like everybody fading Dwayne Haskins. I was very, very pro Cardale Jones, but that's getting back there.
Okay. I think if you just can, every time Ohio State has a quarterback, and you just fade
system. I can't.
Well, they're going to get Vargas. Vargas is going to be He'll be a NFL
Yeah,
quarterback.
we'll
Saying will
see.
be an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, we'll see what kind of NFL quarterback Saying is. So.
All right. That was fun. That was a crossover. Middays with Matt, Josh Hodson, back on the ones and twos coming up next year on the 1620 Zone Radio Network.
I need your help. I can't tell you what it is. You can never ask me about it later, and we're gonna hurt some people.
Whose car are we gonna take?
I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest.
That's an absolutely horse crap call. Make room for Daddy. But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Chicago is.
This is Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Middays with Matt, live and rolling on the 1620 The Zone Radio Network. Matt McMaster back with Josh Odson. We were so happy he was on vacation. We're even happier he's back here at the desk. Some things never change, though, Josh. Even a week away from you, I still don't plug the camera into my computer on time. How are you?
You're plugged in. You're just like, it's covered by something.
Is he locked in? Is he locked in? You locked in now?
Let me just put that up there for everyone to see.
I don't know how this camera. Hey, you can see me over here. Over here. You can see me here.
You're fine.
You can see me here.
What is covered? Because I can't.
It's a broken computer.
Oh.
It just doesn't. It decides when it wants to come on and when it doesn't want to come on. It has a mind of its own. It's so annoying.
Well, that's
also too. These ports are all too close together, so it's hard to plug things in a sequence. You know, this thing just sucks. But you know what? I didn't have to pay for it, so you know, who's really keeping score?
Yeah, you're the winner in this.
I'm
scenario,
the winner in
right?
this one.
Yeah.
Speaking about keeping score, it's rank day, baby. The AP Top 25 preseason college football poll, the polarizing AP Top 25 college preseason poll comes out today. We had the coaches poll come out a couple of weeks ago. Do you remember that, Josh Odson? Everybody was flipping out about the coaches poll.
I remember that it happened. I don't remember any of the numbers or who.
You don't remember that?
No, I
Indiana
remember
was ranked 6th, and people are like, "Oh, they're disrespecting the national champion."
Ohio State is number 1, right?
Yes,
and we're all like, "Oh, that's, I guess, more interesting than some other scenarios."
There were 6 different teams who got first place votes. Indiana, Notre Dame, Texas, Georgia, Oregon, and Ohio State all received first place votes.
Georgia?
Well, they're going to be pretty good this year. They got a lot of guys returning on the defensive end. And additionally, Gunnar Stockton, he's a dude. Maybe he's Matt McMaster's sleeper dark horse to win the Heisman Trophy. I don't know. We'll get to that at some point.
Whoa, I've missed a lot, apparently.
Apparently, you've missed a ton. I've been reading
Stockton for Heisman.
I've been reading so much Pick Six previews, Josh.
Wow.
I've had so many takes just boiling up inside me.
I think this is a good point to share with the audience. We'll get to what's coming up on the show and all that.
Yeah, we never do that.
What is essentially the first thing you said to me after not saying anything to each other in person? We haven't seen each other in a week. You come in, and the first thing you said to me, it wasn't to me, but it was the first time we were in the room together.
First time you heard my words in 7 days.
You said hi, and then you said what?
Dang it. I have to listen to Rick Pizzo talk about Nebraska football. I said, dang it, I forgot.
Yeah.
I forgot to listen to Rick Pizzo talk about Husker football. And then what did I do? What did I proceed to do?
Listen to Rick Pizzo at like triple speed so you could get all the information.
The information that is on this piece of paper. Dana and Matt and Owen Chambliss and Cam Lenhart said so many interesting things with Rick Pizzo. I was locked in. I was like, I forgot. I gotta listen to the P's. I gotta listen to him. I gotta see what he's got to say. Big Ten preview, baby.
And I just leaned back in my chair and I said, we are very different people.
Hopefully you were going to say we're in good hands at this radio station.
Oh, no, it's great for the show that you were upset with yourself that you didn't listen to.
I forgot.
Rick Pizzo?
Yes.
Okay.
Forgot to listen to Rick Pizzo talk about the football team. I was like, dang it, that was on my list. I did everything else on my list. I watched Caden Wegen highlights. I watched Emmett Johnson highlights.
That you say his name correctly.
I watched
like the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh, were they calling him Wetgen?
Yeah.
Nice. Now, I will say, like, for that Pittsburgh accent too. Hey, down there, wet gin, you know?
That Pat McAfee
Yeah.
accent.
God. Are we going to have Caden on McAfee once he like returns a kick for a touchdown?
Yes, 100%. There will be one Monday where we're just staring at the TV and going, oh, whoa, Caden Weegan is on Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
That is absolute. You're correct. That is going to happen.
But Michael Severe will have Pat McAfee talk about the Jet Award, on ESPN television, which will probably be very big for the Jet.
AJ, what's that say there? He's a Jet Award
You're
winner.
a Jet Award winner back there, Huskers.
It's a tough accent to make fun.
I can't do it. I cannot do it.
It always comes out Wisconsin-y, and I don't mean it to.
Yeah. The Wisconsin, though, is like, sir, let me scoot by you there. Yeah. You know, like that's a little, I don't know, like the Wisconsin accent, it's up in your mouth a little bit. It's like, excuse me, sorry, let me scoot by you.
Where the Yinzer's a little further back.
It's a little back in the mouth, you know, back and down, as they say. It's back and down in your mouth, you know, like it's down, your first down, you know. Yeah. That's all I got. With the, I can have a full convo and let me scoop by. Can I get a New Glarus, please? Like that's like Wisconsin. I can't really get Pittsburgh down, you know, other than just saying that one word. It's tough. It's almost just like every time I do a Collinsworth, I have to start it with, now here's a guy, you know.
Yeah.
Like you have to, like there's cues in. With a Gruden, you have to start it with, let me tell you what, man. Like you can't get to a Gruden any other way than let me tell you what, man.
A person who isn't, and I don't say this is a person who isn't great at impressions has to start with the catchphrase. So everyone comes from the mindset of, okay, this is who this person is doing. Now I hear it. You could not have exposed me better there. Because when I do my Harry Carey, what do I start with every time? Hi.
Hey, everybody.
I used to be able to do it like pitch perfect Harry Carey, and now I can't.
Yeah. Honestly, it just depends on how my stomach is feeling when I do a Harry Carey. Because if I have acid reflux, and so if my stomach's a little off kilter, if I really dig into the Harry Carey, there is an opportunity I might throw up. You know, like where if I'm fine, I can dig down deep into the Harry Carey. See, that's the difference. Now, speaking about Chicago Cubs, what a series they have this week. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? They're playing the Chicago White Sox. And maybe what?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Cardinals series this weekend.
No, we're moving on from that, Josh. We're not talking about that. By the way, how much baseball? We talked about all the movies you watch. Can you release all of your movie reviews? How much baseball did you watch? How many hours of baseball were logged on the MLB network? And how many different teams were viewed? That's what I'm more interested in.
I'll bet I was good for a game and a half every night.
Shut up.
Every Braves game, and then the something on the West Coast, usually the Mariners.
Was there a player that like you didn't know about that you're like, oh wow, look at that, look at the left fielder for the Washington Nationals, or you're like, oh my god, look at the second baseman for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
So that's
I like this Alec Thomas guy.
Excellent question. The only thing that comes to mind is that gentleman that hit 3 home runs on Saturday against the
Josh Baz.
Yeah, it's the only thing that comes to mind.
It took that series. I was texting with our friend Stacy, who massive Cubs fan. One of the biggest, her and John are like the two biggest Cubs fans I know here in Omaha.
Cubs fans, not Cubbies fans.
No, by the way, I'm not a Cubbies guy.
You're not. I've never heard you say that.
I don't call them the Cubbies. I don't. Like now, the only time I'll say Cubbies is when it's like when we're doing the 7th inning stretch, because that's what everybody says. Root for the Cubbies.
Okay,
like
sure.
That's what we do. Other than that, I don't like that nickname. I feel like it's a little like patronizing. Like, oh, they're the Cubbies, you know? Like, I don't. Anyway, though, I was texting Stacy, our friend, and I was like, this is the most frustrating series. I've just like every time they play the Cardinals in any 3-game series, because the Cardinals are like, they're fine, they're not great. But that's the second time that they got their brakes blown off by the Cardinals. Then it took a historical, that guy. So Josh Bays goes ahead. He hits 3 home runs his first 3 at-bats, right? He was wearing Blaze Jordan's cleats, and they sent the cleats he wore to the Hall of Fame.
Sure.
Because he hit 3 home runs in his first 3 major league at-bats. That's what it took for them to win 2 out of 3. It was such a frustrating series. It could be an even more frustrating series upcoming because they play the White Sox in what is for sure the biggest series they've played since like the 21 season. They played a really big series in 21 where they were both pretty good. Honestly, like we're dating back to like 2008 when like both the Sox and the Cubs made the playoffs, and now they're both very good, and they're now, playing in that series. That should be fun. But AP top 25 coming out today. Ohio State was number 1 in the coaches poll. Okay.
Ohio State, famously not in the city of Chicago.
Yes. I don't think they're going to be number 1 in the media poll. I think the coaches look at Ohio State a little bit differently because I think that the coaches are looking at, they have a lot of continuity there. They have Matt Patricia coming back. They have Ryan Day. They have Julian Sayin. They have Jeremiah Smith. They have another Chris Henry Jr. is going to be awesome. Like they have, I think the coaches view it as they have an awesome offense that has all of the pieces you have there. And then I think that number 1 in the coaches poll ranking is almost like a respect thing too. They got a bunch of studs in the transfer portal.
I don't know. Just put Ohio State number 1.
Yeah, kind of. They got a bunch of studs in the transfer portal, and Matt Patricia is going to coach them up.
My guy in the office said this thing's due in an
so
hour.
That's a good point.
I
I can't act as if the coaches actually give a damn about the coaches poll. I don't think Ohio State will be number 1 in today's media poll. I'm going to guess it's either Notre Dame or Oregon. There are a lot of people who are very high on Oregon heading into the year because they had a lot of young guys last season. They bring back Dante Moore. I think it'll be Notre Dame or Oregon. I wouldn't be shocked if Ohio State is 2 or 3. I think Texas will end up being in the top 5. I wouldn't be surprised if Indiana ends up like being 7th or 8th. Like they just get even more disrespected by the media. We'll see. I don't think Indiana though will be in the top 3. I think we all can agree on that. So it'll be interesting. Where does LSU go? Do they go higher than 13? I think Penn State, funny enough, we talk about the coaches poll and like, do the coaches really care about the coaches poll? Penn State was actually very wisely put in the top 25 because I think they'll end up being probably the 16th or 17th ranked team in the country because they play such an easy schedule. But I don't think that they'll be a college football playoff team. But we'll see. Do they get more respect? Do they stay at 17, 16, 15, or do they end up to the media saying, well, you're only going to be really good because of your schedule. We're going to push you back. So it'll be fun to break that down and see what happens there. I listen to Rick Pizzo for all of you.
This was very important to him. We've been over this.
It was very important. I listened to so much Dana Holgerson this week. Probably the most Dana I've listened to since he's been here at Nebraska. I've listened to another Matt Rule press conference where, God, they are so different now compared to where they were in year 1. In year 1, there was like a juice and excitement, like those things were fun. And now they've kind of just turned into Matt being like, yep, we got to get business done. Oh, you want to know about depth chart? Too bad. Oh, we like how this guy looks. Oh, this guy's progressive. Yep, he's a freshman. He's got to get better. He's got to get reps. I'm not complaining. It's not a complaint. I'm just pointing out the differences of what they are now to what they used to be. So we'll talk about that. I think some interesting things were said by Dana. I think some interesting things were said in the Big Ten, preview that they were doing there on the Big Ten Network, where they brought their analysts down. They saw practice. They talked to a bunch of players. I think there is a theme that I'm hearing about the season. There is something that might bite Matt Rule back in the butt. And then there's a question I have. I have a theme, I have a bite in the butt, and I have a question. I have those 3 things. Because there is a consistent thing that is being said throughout the entirety of the coaches that I find very interesting, that they're all saying it all the time. I actually do think it's a reason to potentially buy stock into this football team. And I think it's something that it has been proven that what they're telling you, that what they're explaining to you about this specific team, it's been proven that that characteristic that they are honing in on does lead to winning football games. So we'll talk about that theme. at some point, probably after our interview with Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald, which will happen at 11:20. Because the AP Top 25 poll is going to come out at 11.
Good get.
We'll talk about the AP Top 25 poll at 11. We'll then lead in to Bland at 11:20, who then we'll have our interview with Evan, who's been at these press conferences, who has been talking to the coaches, who has been talking to the players. So we'll talk to Evan. Then we'll go ahead. We'll have the odd news at 11:45. We'll give it its proper time and its proper attention with Josh Otson. Then at 12 o'clock, we'll talk about the Huskers. Talk about, I'm telling you, one thing that might bite Matt Rule back in the butt. And then one question I have, because he said a word. He said a word. And my question is is he saying that word in the locker room?
What are we talking? What are we talking? Did I miss something?
No, he said a word. He said a specific word. And my question is
a bad word?
No, he said a month. He said a month.
Okay.
Stop it, you dirty-minded individual.
I thought I missed
just
something.
said he said a word. To you were thinking he said the worst word.
Matt Rule, Jackie Chan, handshake.
No, Josh, no. The word, though, does start with the same letter.
Whoa.
It does. It's a month. He said a month. See, I've spoiled it already. You can't let me tease. You got to let me tease.
Sorry.
I'm a peacock, Captain. You got to let me fly. All right?
Had a little desk pop there.
You did. I was doing radio stuff. Got it. We'll do more radio.
You've gotten so good at radio in the week I've been gone.
I hate you. We have a Bill Simmons summer segment here.
TikTok on those.
No.
TikTok.
Whoa. What do you mean? What are you talking about?
Summer's almost over.
God, don't even say that.
Omaha back to school on Wednesday.
Hey, God forbid. Don't talk like that. All right? Don't talk like that.
See, now I just know that you're quoting a TikTok of The Sopranos.
Stop saying my secrets. All right? Stop it. God forbid. Don't talk like that.
You're a unique individual, and I love that.
Hey, no effing ZD? Hey, you're telling me that if I came in here, walked back, F your mother, came back, I could just go right to the front of the line and get my bagels?
I am telling you that, yes.
God, what a show. I did see a TikTok clip of The Sopranos yesterday and I swear to God, I'm not just saying this to say this. I thought last night, you know what? Maybe I should just watch it. I saw a clip.
It's happening.
I saw that clip and I go, maybe I should just watch it. It just seems entertaining because it was a compilation of all 5 of the best O's in Soprano. That's the clip I watched. All 5 of the best O's that happened. And I was like, this is a fun show. I was like, this is cool. I was like, maybe I'll watch it. Maybe I should just watch this whole thing.
Everyone who works here is so fascinating for different reasons.
We really all have. Everyone down the line just has a weird, just little
a lot of picadillos.
Really, we are a interesting bunch here at 1620 Zone. These two men, Matt McMaster and Josh Hudson, no different. So we'll talk Bill Simmons summer segment. I was thinking this is a segment that I came up with, and then I realized I was like, this is what Simmons would do. This is a topic he would do. He'd be like, House, I'm always so fascinated with one question, one thing a team has to figure out. And if they figure that thing out, they could be in the Super Bowl. So here are 3 teams that if they just figure this one specific thing out, they might actually win a Super Bowl. That's what we're going to do today. I have 3 teams I've identified that they are not these are not necessarily Super Bowl favorites. This isn't the Rams. This isn't the Seahawks. This isn't the Denver Broncos, right? Those teams, honestly, at this point, they just have to perform like they did last year and stay healthy, right? And they will probably end up playing in the AFC, NFC championship games or even the Super Bowl. I have 3 teams that we know are good, but if they figure out this one thing, they only got to do one thing, and they could end up the Super Bowl. So we'll talk about that today on the show. We'll do we'll talk about the Huskers and their Big Ten preview, talk about the AP Top 25. Evan Bland will join us at 11:20. Robin Washut of Husker Online and On3 will join us at 1:20. We also will talk about some Huskers performing in the preseason. EJ looks no different than what he typically is. Kashawn Singleton had a really good game. We'll also talk about 2 rookies that I think could end up being some high-level performers for you fantasy football players out there. it's not a fantasy football segment, but there are some guys that, hey, maybe you take a flyer on in the later rounds. Did get my fantasy football draft order yesterday. I'm picking 12th.
Ooh.
Yeah, tough. I already
And 13th?
12th and 13th.
Okay.
Yeah, I already started doing some mock drafts.
Silver lining.
I think I'm just going to pick up 2 running backs.
Okay.
Just figure it out later. So we have a fun show ahead of you today. We also have some fun little segments too to talk about. LeBron James has his own golf channel now. Did you hear this? Did you see this? Yeah, I see the look of disgust on your face.
I did. I didn't hear a lot from the week I was gone. That is one of the things that crept through.
Seeing Bob Does Sports, like eating a steak next to LeBron James, was one of the weirdest. I was like, what is going on? This is ridiculous.
Who is that for?
I think it's for him. I think he just is into golf now.
I mean, I guess someone will buy ads on it. Right?
I mean,
sure.
It does make a lot of sense though. LeBron James is, retiring soon. He's getting to the point where he's no longer going to be doing his job and he needs a new hobby, a sport hobby to keep him active, and so he's picked up golf. And shocker, one of the greatest athletes in sports history has picked up golf very quickly. Everyone's like, oh my God, I can't believe Bronny and LeBron are really good at golf really quickly. Are you really surprised? Are you really shocked? Are you joking me? LeBron also, too, he has just all the money in the world. So he can buy, all the people get into golf for like the activity. And then eventually golf just becomes like a collector's item thing, where it's like, oh, look at all this merch I got from these different golf courses. He can knock that out very quickly. So we'll have some fun. Also, the Avengers Doomsday trailer came out, and I want to hear Josh Odson's comments on it.
Finally, something in my wheelhouse.
I might be zagging where people are zigging.
Ooh, okay.
I have a take. I have one take. I have one singular take, and then Man of Movies Josh Odson can add to it. What are you looking around for?
You said Man of Movies. I was looking around. Is Spielberg in here?
You are Man of Movies.
Okay.
You are Mom.
Man of Movies, MOM.
Matt McMaster and Mom here on the 1620 Zone Radio Network. We'll talk about the AP Top 25 preseason poll coming up next here on Middays with Matt.
Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
You know, they say it takes a village to raise a broadcaster. That's a common phrase.
Oh, yeah. Everyone
says it all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And so many influential broadcasters in my life. One of them walking through the door right now, and Mike Schaefer, who all have a hand in helping me, all have a hand in giving me tips and tricks. I'd say
lift you up.
You and Josh Peterson and Michael Severe are probably my top 3 mentors right now. And then my offensive coordinator is basically Connor Happer, who just says 6 words to me about how I broadcast and then goes, don't do that. You know, like, hey, you did that.
Yep.
Don't. Well, you know, I think this is the closest thing I've ever gotten to a compliment from Connor Happer, who tweets at Middays with Matt. Matt Rule said a word, and I'm wondering if he says it in the locker room is such a great tease. You should have just left it. You responded, Josh Hodson, with, I'm so sorry, I blew it. Connor then replied, you had the exact appropriate reaction.
That's right.
He said a word, and I wonder if he says that word to his team.
I would also like to know if he says that word to his team.
No, but you don't know the word.
I don't.
Anyway, I'm waiting patiently for the AP Top 25 poll to release, but we do have some riveting NFL action.
Titans Niners is on the TV now. I didn't get to watch it this weekend.
Look at Jonesy sling that ball.
That was Rourke. He's working it.
Look at that. Who is that?
That's Curtis Rourke.
Oh, that's from Indiana?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he gets hurt in this game.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, Stribling. It'll be
because we're in San Francisco. We're by that power plant.
Yeah, everyone gets hurt. I don't know if you knew that.
I have heard this.
God, Curtis Rourke.
Titans win. A lot of 50-yard field goals.
God, do you know how many people pretended to watch his Ohio tape before he was so good at it? I'm like, yeah, they got this guy in Ohio. It's pretty good, you know? That was awesome. You know what? Before he broke his hand, I almost thought about placing a Heisman bet on him. He was slinging it, dude.
Hello.
He was slinging it. But do you know who he hurt his hand against? Do you remember this?
No.
He hurt his hand against Nebraska.
Oh, no.
Yeah. He I don't know if a backup quarter. I forget, dude. That game I stopped watching after the second quarter. I was like, this thing is atrocious. Najee Harris going to New York to the Giants to have a visit. So he might be one of their running backs because, you know, they have their 2 runners of the football made of glass and Cam Scadaboo and Jackson Dart. So it'll be interesting to see if Najee Harris, who very quickly, talk about just the tread on the tires wearing out. I mean, that happened so rapidly for him, in part because he was awesome at Alabama. We have talked about a certain guy who was fired by ESPN, who I love very dearly, who I'm hoping to come back. Tom Pelissero has just signed with Netflix. Why did you say like that?
I thought you were going to say Carl Ravitch for some reason.
No, is he still working for ESPN though? Wasn't he doing a game after he got fired?
He was, and then he said he had one more.
Oh, so when is the last dance of Carl Ravitch?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Are they going to pump it up as this is Carl's last broadcast?
I don't think it doesn't sound like it.
That would be very awkward. Where's he going to go? The CW? Is Carl Ravitch going to be doing football games on the CW?
I think he's going to go to whatever. I guess he could. No, Netflix has a baseball broadcaster. Where's Carl Ravitch call home? I bet he's just going to go there. He's only 61. He
can retire.
He can.
He can retire. There's nothing wrong with retirement for some of these guys.
With his wife in Avon, Connecticut.
Oh, that's kind of dang. They moved their whole life out there.
Yeah.
That's tough. You think he likes Arizona? What if Farron and Ravish did a radio show together?
I'd probably listen to that.
It'd be informational.
Yeah.
The AP Top 25 poll has come out.
It's out.
And we only have one mover.
One mover?
This is very boring. Uh-oh. I thought this was going to be fun, exciting segment. It turns out it's kind of the same as the coaches poll.
Whoa.
We are kind of bordering here. There's a couple flip-flops.
Hey, Ryan. What'd you get for number 6? Indiana. Okay, good. Thanks.
We have play the breaking news sounder. Screw it. I don't care. This is the AP Top 25 poll. Everybody flips out about this stuff. All right. The AP Top 25 poll has just been released. We have our top 25 teams to begin the college football season. The number one team in the country is, ladies and gentlemen, drum roll, please. Ohio State will begin the year ranked number one.
Wow.
Ohio State is the number one team in the country, followed up by the number two team in the country, the Oregon Ducks.
Quack, quack.
Georgia, number 3. Notre Dame, number 4. Texas, number 5. That is your top 5 teams according to the AP Top 25 preseason.
What a 5.
Ohio State, Oregon, Georgia, Notre Dame, Texas. Behind them, Indiana, Miami, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Oklahoma round out your top 25. A mover from the coaches poll to the AP poll. LSU was ranked 13th in the coaches poll. They are 11th in the AP Top 25 poll, firmly in contention for a college football playoff appearance in the first year of Lane Kiffin after they spent a boatload of money on their transfer portal class. Texas Tech, even without Brendan Sorsby, rounds out your top 12. The Fighting Cody Campbells, followed up by Alabama at 13, BYU at 14. Oh, wow, we have a tie. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a tie.
Whoa.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have the first Oscar Award winner come up, accept their award, say their speech. Then we'll announce it again, and the second award winner will come up and accept their speech. But this time, it'll be for the 14th ranking in the AP Top 25 poll. BYU and USC tied for 14th. The 16th ranked team, Michigan, followed up by Washington, Penn State, SMU, and Tennessee. That's your top 20. Your final 5 teams are Utah 21, Iowa 22, Houston 23, shout out Willie Fritz, Louisville 24, Missouri 25. Nebraska received 0 votes.
Ah,
They did not receive 1 vote.
come on.
Clemson is your 26th ranked team in the country, 112 votes, only 5 votes away from being ranked above Missouri, who got the final spot, followed up by Florida at 51. People very high on John Summerall's first year. Boise State, 43 votes. Arizona, 32 votes. TCU, 11 votes. Navy got 10 votes. South Carolina got 10. Illinois got 10. Oklahoma State with Eric Morris in his first year. They got 8. All of these different teams, even Minnesota got 5 votes. James Madison got a couple of votes. Western Michigan got a vote.
Western Michigan?
But Nebraska did not receive 1 vote.
The
AP
shell of
top
Tulane
25.
got a vote?
Yes. Memphis got a vote. Auburn got a vote.
Memphis got 2 votes.
Louisiana got a vote.
Louisiana got 4
Yeah,
points.
they got 4. Ja Tech, New Mexico, UNLV, Ants Home got 4 votes. Virginia Tech, first year, 6 votes for James Franklin.
Imagine not getting a vote.
Imagine not getting a vote. How many teams got votes?
1 measly vote.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is great radio. 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 20. So 24 teams got votes outside of the other top 25 who were ranked. Now, I do think some of these voters wanted to put in their best G5 team at 25.
Sure.
Like that's some things that they do. They're like the 20 because of the college football playoff rule. You always have a G5 team
Because
at 25.
This particular poll doesn't really matter.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. But it's awesome for like we are 8 days away, 12 days away. When's the first August 29th, right? Is the first game. So we're 12 days away from having college football. August 28th is the first day, right? What's first college football game of the season?
I'm going. Yeah, 29.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had it. You had it.
12 days away. We're like twiddling our thumbs over here.
Bill Belichick is taking his team to Ireland, and I just don't think we're talking about that enough.
Playing TCU, right?
That's right.
Do they still give out that crystal helmet when you win that the coach puts on? Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? Look up Pat Fitzgerald crystal helmet. This is something they gave him after he beat Nebraska onside kick in Ireland. You get a crystal helmet for the coach who wins it, and then you like put it on, and it's like the weirdest looking thing.
Huh.
Let me find it now. Pat Fitzgerald crystal football helmet. It's a great looking helmet. I also hate, by the way, too, on Firefox, it's like I can't look up pictures. I have to go to like Google to do it. But anyway,
you should always be going to Google.
I like Firefox though.
You like Firefox?
I'm a Firefox guy. Do you see what I'm talking about, by the way?
I didn't see it.
Okay.
No.
I'll show it to you. Here.
What a slate.
Dude,
Saturday.
look at this thing.
Next Saturday.
I'm turning my camera around. Look at him wearing that crystal helmet. Yeah.
See, that's your new thing.
Yeah. Look at that. That's dope. You look stupid.
Wow.
Like his big head got even bigger.
So I could see a football player going, "Oh wow, coach has bubble wrap on his hand."
Dude, that's what it looks like.
I'm gonna smack him in the face very playfully because that looks like bubble wrap, and then that guy breaks his hand.
Do you know what
for the rest of the season?
Do you know what?
It's not bubble wrap.
Do you know what the headline for this story? So this is like a picture of an article. You want to guess what the headline for the story is?
I can't think of anything.
CFB world stunned by Pat Fitzgerald $130 million lawsuit. And they used that picture.
So they put a joyous photo of Pat Fitzgerald.
Well, they knew he was going to win. That's what happened.
Huh. Interesting.
I remember my dad when he sued Northwestern. Oh, are you watching the Titans?
I am. I'm sorry. I got a little distracted.
Do we need to make a graphic that says you're watching Titans preseason
on
tape delay? This game already happened. This happened 3 days ago.
I know, it's on my DVR. I can watch it whenever I want. Go ahead.
I remember, God, it's such a dad call because my dad's in the business world, right? And so Fitzgerald sues Northwestern, and my dad knew the law group that he was using to sue Northwestern. And so he called me and he was like, let's just say they're Miller and Miller, right? I don't know what the actual firm was, but he's like, he got Miller and Miller. Those guys don't lose. He's like, they don't lose. Those guys, those are killers. I know them. I worked with them in a meeting one time. They're going to get Northwestern. It was so funny. He was like, that law group, they don't lose, Matt. They got a rep. Those guys are closers. Those are like suits. So there you go. The AP top 25 poll has been released. The only change in the top 5 from the coaches poll to the media poll is Notre Dame went up to 4 and Texas went down to 5. There was a slight change in the top 10. Ole Miss was ranked as the 10th team in the country, according to the AP top 25. They were 9th. They flipped spots with Oklahoma in the coaches poll. Oklahoma was 9th. Ole Miss was 10th. I don't know if there's any really like big glaring discrepancies that I can currently see right now between the two.
No discrepancies, but I do have a note from Brett McMurphy.
Yeah, can we get a note from Brett McMurphy, please?
For the first time in 18 years, Alabama is ranked outside the top 10 in the preseason poll. Their 13th ranking is the lowest since 2008 when they started the season, number 24.
Do you think like when Alabama fans like they experience the first time in 20 years, Alabama hasn't done this. First time in 25 years, they've been ranked outside of this. First time in 15 years, they've been like, do you think they're like, is this how Nebraska felt in like the early 2000s when it was happening to the Huskers?
I mean, we could offer them a lot of moral support if we chose to.
Husker and Bama fans to unite.
Yeah.
We can help you.
Mm-hmm.
We have been in the barren desert for the last 25 years. We have been struggling, right? You are literally going through what we went through in the early stages where you don't know what's going on.
It's denial. You're angry. Your gut reaction is going to be to fire everybody.
Yeah.
Maybe pump the brakes on that. Maybe wait a year. Maybe wait 2 years.
You're having the existential crisis of saying, well, that's not good enough here at Alabama. And then some people saying to you, well, it's a different time and maybe it should be. Okay. That is the constant fight that is going on because Bama's going, we're Bama. We win national championships. You can't just make the college football playoff. That's not good enough. We're Bama. And some realistic people have to look at Bama fans and say, yeah, but like, it's a different time now. Like I understand that was your expectation. Maybe it shouldn't be. And Husker fans had to go through the same thing where it's like, we're Nebraska. We win national championship. We win conference championships. 9 wins isn't good enough. And some people, you know,
And then there's old Alabama fans calling in and going, well, this is the second time in my life that I've seen the Alabama dynasty collapse. And I'll tell you what you need to do.
why is that your Bama accent? Why does your Bama accent sound like the announcer from 42?
I didn't want to go stereotypical, like, hi,
I don't know.
Roll Tide.
That's not stereotypical.
I just wanted to do something different. It didn't work. It's fine.
Nebraska fans for Bama. But
start a movement.
But not like to root for them, just counseling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know?
There's more money in that.
This is what you do when the new coach, after your Hall of Fame greatest of all time coach, decides to make a very stupid decision. This is how you should react.
I like that.
I wonder, like, if Bama were to fire DeBoer, like, what is the, like, I think that'll be a thought experience for 20 years, a thought experiment for 20 years. Do Bama and Nebraska, like, mirror each other in terms of hires and hope? And does Bama fall off to the point where Nebraska has? Probably not. I'm pretty confident that doesn't happen, right? That can't happen twice. It's a very interesting conversation. But here's the thing, Bama. We're here for you. Middays with Matt, here for you.
Yeah. A lot of people are going to laugh at your downfall, Alabama.
And we're whatever you need when you're like, oh my God, my once incredible football team is now just thrown to the heap of mediocrity. I can't handle this. Nebraska fans have had to gone through that. So we can help you. Josh Hodson's more qualified to do it than I am. You're actually here for all of it.
Yeah, it's really weird. Whenever Josh talks about, like, because I think of Josh and I as the same age. I forget I'm slightly older than him. He's like, I've never seen Nebraska do this. I've never seen the Dallas Cowboys do this. I'm like, I remember being young and watching those things.
You're like, I have a better memory.
We're the same age. And then I'm like, yeah, I guess I am just a little bit older than him.
I guess if you're like, there is a difference in your memory probably from like 6 to 4 or 7 to 5.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that actually is. I'm not a child development expert. I did take that class though at the University of Nebraska. I got an A, brother.
An A in child development.
Yeah.
From Matt McMaster.
Oh yeah. My mom's a teacher. I was into that stuff. Also too, that class, 29 women, 2 guys.
Yep. That's why I took it in high school.
Yeah. Yep.
I didn't know if it was going to come up or not. I didn't want to say, but
look at my eyes. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Coming up next, Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald tells us all the things he's been hearing about Nebraska football and Matt Rule here on Middays with Matt.
Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone. Now, back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Our next guest is like our most trusted middle reliever. He's like Jesse Chavez on the Atlanta Braves. Oh, I love Jesse. It's one of those things where it's like, no matter what, you know that when Jesse Chavez is wearing that Braves jersey, you can throw him in anywhere, he's going to be fine. We know that whenever I text this man or whenever I call this man and say, hey, you want to come on the show? That he, number one, will make himself available. And number two, will call and give us a great interview. It's Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald. Are you okay with that? With Jesse Chavez being your comp, or is there another middle reliever that has your has a place in your heart nearly or dearly?
Well, I grew up as a big Kyle Farnsworth fan. If you really want to go back with one of the all-time Cubs,
sure.
So I take that.
Okay, great. Well,
but being available, like I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but here I am, ready to chat. Let's hang out.
I want to read you a tweet. It's a tweet from somebody who I have a lot of respect for. The tweet says, Nebraska football opponents ranked in the preseason AP poll. Number 6, Indiana. Number 2, Oregon. Number 17, Washington. Number 1, Ohio State. And number 22, Iowa. That tweet came from Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald. You put that tweet out there. So I'll ask the question that always gets asked after a tweet like that comes out with Nebraska. Is this the year, Evan? Is this the year they finally beat one of those teams with a number next to them for the first time in a decade?
I mean, the odds would tell you it's got to happen at some point.
Sure.
Like, outside of Rutgers, I mean, Nebraska's got the longest drought in that way, and against Power 4 or as a Power 4 team. So I don't know that I can tell you who it's going to be. Heck, it could be Illinois, which is receiving votes, and maybe they'll be in the top 25 by the time Nebraska goes there on a Friday night later in the season. But I mean, just like, again, like statistically, it's got to happen at some point. They've come so close against Iowa so many times. That's probably the one that you look at and say if it's going to happen and you had to pick one, that would be the one. They almost did it at Ohio State in 24. They don't really have a history at all against Washington in the Big Ten. So maybe the Huskies coming a couple of time zones over with the blackout atmosphere. Maybe it'll be cold like that. You could see a scenario maybe where that happens. Indiana, like Nebraska, may well be undefeated at that point when the Hoosiers come to town, and Nebraska will certainly be the toughest team that Indiana will have faced to that point in the season. So you could make a case in that way. I don't know about Oregon. Like that's a really tough sell to kind of envision how that'll happen. But yeah, like I think you could make a case. Having a mobile quarterback, I think, adds to that. It gives you another out or another sort of like way you can envision things breaking Nebraska's way. They're a little bit more explosive maybe as an offense. So yeah, well, I'm going to say yes, if for no other reason than they actually have, they're going to have maybe 5 or 6 chances this year to do it. We'll see if they can grab one of those to break the streak.
Yeah, it's not only, I mean, obviously it's been done the whole like almost wins, right? But there've been like, in particular, a couple with Matt Rule in his short time where it's like Illinois 2024. Like that was it. I felt like that was the opportunity to do it. They were a 9.5-point favorite that game, by the way, which is kind of crazy to think about how those 2 seasons ended up being. But yeah, I agree with you. Just strictly based on numbers. Just strictly based on volume, that could be the case. Let's go. Let's talk about your time at the press conference after Saturday's scrimmage. I think it might end up being the only full padded scrimmage they'll end up doing. They haven't decided yet, but it seems like we're going in that direction. Any takeaway you had from Rule at the podium and just things he said about the scrimmage?
Yeah, he picked his spots about when to be detailed and when to not be. Like he didn't really talk a lot about the quarterbacks when he was asked about him. He said, yeah, they played well. That was pretty much it. He anticipated the running backs question, but he kept that pretty general. The ball didn't hit the turf. Guys ran well. Pass blocking was solid, above average. So you didn't really get a sense of how that'll shake out. In some ways, it's sort of like when you talk to him after a game and he's like, well, I think that this is what I saw, but I need to go back and look at the film. I think there was a good amount of that. So, I mean, really, probably the next time we talk to him will be a little bit more illuminating in terms of like what defenders tackled well or showed that they made gains there, what ball carriers either showed explosiveness or the ability to get a couple of extra yards on a carry. I thought what he said about the return game was interesting. Like, I don't think we really had a sense for how they were going to move on from Kenneth Williams, who had an all Big Ten sort of year last year, transfers to Michigan State. We knew Ja'Cory Barney was going to be the guy at punt returner predominantly. And it sounds like they want to give him a strong look as a kick returner as well. We saw a little bit of that late last year in the bowl game too. Isaiah Hunter will probably factor into that, Isaiah Mosey. So, there's probably a little bit of clarity there. There was praise for Danny Odom, the freshman, former 5-star. Like that, I think he probably got more direct praise than what he had in camp to this point. So maybe he's making a move with Jeremiah Charles and Vic Evans for that second corner spot. I don't know. Beyond that, like, I don't think they felt like they were ready to declare a starter at running back. That's a spot they're continuing to work through. That number 2 quarterback spot between TJ Lateef and Danny Kaelin. The corner position, like I said, those are probably the ones that are ongoing, and maybe they have a better sense after looking back at things. But, I think kind of like I wrote out of it, like the 2 things they probably wanted to do the most were, 1, get a bunch of snaps, which they did, 120 plus, and then 2, stay healthy. So they had a couple of minor deals with Caleb Benning at safety and Gage Stinger, who's one of their special teams specialists. But they otherwise no major injuries, and I guess they feel like they have a better sense of what they have. So probably mostly positives, even with some position battles still outstanding.
A funny line that was dropped, toward the end of that press conference from Rule, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he's like, with Dana, he's, he just says what he wants to say. So I just have to be prepared, right, for any questions that might come my way. I was paraphrasing, but he said something like that to the degree of, I got to know what Dana said because you guys might ask me about it. Well, Dana talked the day before. What is that contrast like for you as a reporter, like being there and you have a head coach who's pretty, at this point, straight to the point, doesn't reveal a whole lot. And then Dana just comes up and says, nah, this guy's bad, or this group needs to be better, or this, these guys need to do this. Like, how's that contrast? And how do you think that relates to like what is in the building between those two?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, Matt Rule says all the time, like, one of the things that he tries to do is hire guys who have strengths that he doesn't. And we've seen that, in his hire of Rob Orich. Like he said, he needs a guy who is an expert on defense, and he's not necessarily an expert on defense. And he needs a guy who can call plays, and Holgorsen, who maybe is a little bit more blunt and straight to the point, and like maybe the bad cop to Matt Rule's good cop a little bit. And I think it shakes things up. And when Holgorsen got there, I mean, there were a lot of stories in that first 6 months or so about just how refreshing it was from a player's perspective to hear, like, hey, this is where I stand. Like, this is what he says. Like, if you're a tight end, and he's like, I was disappointed in your summer. Like, you're not sugarcoating it. That's pretty clear. And in this era when guys can come and go, like, just tell them where you stand and let them make their decisions. So certainly he is that way with the team and the coaches, and he's that way in the media as well. And I think it is. It's refreshing because there are a lot of maybe younger assistant coaches that'll come up and they don't really want to say too much or step on toes, and that's fine. And you've got Matt Rule, who I think has learned in this market to maybe be a little bit more diplomatic. But you've got a guy in Holgorsen who's been a head coach in a power league for a long time, and I think is enjoying his spot here. And he's like, this is how I feel. This is what I'm going to say. These are the guys who are doing well. These are the guys who aren't. And so it's good for transparency. I think it's good for fans to hear. But if you're Matt Rule, he's learned too. It's probably good to go back and listen to that 5 to 10 minutes and say, what am I going to be asked for that Dana said? So I think they view that as a positive, as a sort of a sense of authenticity.
Sure.
And he knows what he's talking about too. So like the things that Dana Holgorsen, I think, has come out strongly about, like, have played out. His opinion on Quinn Clark when he got here 2 years ago, is manifesting. His thoughts early on how what did he say? How crappy the blocking was from the receiver position, like that manifested. So it's not like he's just shooting his mouth and not right. Like a lot of the things that he said have ended up being pretty prescient, and so he's I think he's earned the chance to maybe speak truth when he's asked these questions.
I think the thing that manifested the most was Emmett Johnson. Like he came in
right.
and they used him a ton, and he was like, yeah, he's pretty nifty, like he's pretty great. He can do everything. Like I'm a fan of him. And then he ended up being an All-American and looked pretty good in his first preseason game with the Chiefs against the Rams. So yeah, you're totally right. I mean, has it gone the way that people want it to go? Probably not, but he has been stood to be correct a couple of times. Let's go ahead. I'm very curious, like a theme that I've been picking up on this offseason is experience, age, maturity. That's just all Orich has talked about it. Dana's talked about it. Matt's talked about it, how this is an old experienced team. When you go through and you're kind of analyzing like what this team might look like through the season, are you now putting that kind of, hey, this is an experienced team? Are you weighing that a little bit more because it just seems so that they are so confident with how much older they are this year?
I mean, I think one thing that we have taken away from what Indiana did last year was the value of experience in college football. And it was always important, but I think it's even more so in the portal era when you might not have a lot of time to put a guy through your system for 2 or 3 years. Like
Sure.
you want somebody who knows football and who knows how to prepare themselves and act like professionals. You need people who are physically developed. Like you don't really want to take your chances as a 19-year-old lineman in the Big Ten playing against 23-year-olds. Like it's just not a recipe for success. And that's something that Nebraska's had to go through when they had their first big class under Matt Rule a few years ago. And they tried to build it sort of in the traditional way. Well, then the free transfers opened up and the rules changed a little bit, and Nebraska didn't run off a lot of its younger players, but it kept them and retained them and developed them. And so they took their lumps in the last couple of years because of that. But I mean, they certainly are now more experienced at spots. Like you can't argue about the value of a guy like Anthony Calandria as getting ready to start for a 4th year, as opposed to putting out a freshman or sophomore, no matter how talented they are. Certainly the same thing's true along the offensive line, where you've got Power 5 starting experience at every single spot, and Gunnar Gatula as well, who may not even be a starter, but more of a super sixth man kind of guy. The receiving spots are more veteran. The defensive line, you have linebackers like Owen Chambliss who've been through it now. Andrew Marshall's been through the Big Ten wars before. Like, yeah, I mean, it's all over the place where now you do have some experience. These moments are not too big for you. You know what you're doing. You know what the coaches are asking you to do. And like, you're just talking about really small margins in the Big Ten, especially in that middle class of the league. Like it's gonna feel like an NFL Sunday every week. That's gonna come down to a possession here or there. And if you have a guy who's just a little bit older, a little bit more savvy, a little stronger, like those are little edges that can make a difference. And I think Nebraska is banking on that. And that's probably one of the reasons that Matt Rule feels like certainly he has his best team since he's been in Lincoln, and why they feel like they can exceed a lot of expectations and be nationally relevant in the second half of the year.
You know, something very interesting that Dana Holgerson said. He was asked about the offensive line and them, running and being athletic. And he was like, they kind of have to. They don't have a choice with Jeep Wade, right? Like they have to. There are very specific and regimented things they have to do because Jeep is that way as a coach. And he even brought up what we kind of talked about, right? Them recruiting to having an athletic offensive line. Like that was an emphasis for them as a staff. That was an emphasis for Jeep Wade, getting guys who aren't just big, but they're also mobile and can get up to the second level and do some more creative things in their blocking scheme. Do you think that, the belief that people might have in this offensive line, do you think it stems more from the pedigree of some of the guys that got in the portal, or is it really just stemming from Jeep Wade and his history of just coaching up high-level offensive lines?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's both. Like, I don't think, like, if Jeep Wade came in and Nebraska hadn't made any change or any transfer additions to the O-line, I think people would have said, okay, we like him, but it's probably going to take some time. They've got some young guys they're breaking in. I think if you had flipped it and made the transfer additions and Nebraska hadn't brought in Jeep Wade, maybe they stuck with Donovan Raiola, I think it would have sort of been the same. Like, okay, like this is better, this is good, but we don't maybe have a ton of faith that these guys will develop because it just hasn't happened here. So I think it's sort of all of that in combination where you can say, Brennan Black was a 3-year starter at Iowa State essentially, and Paul Mubenga has been through the SEC battles, and Tree Babalade like is incredibly athletic and has seen everything the SEC has thrown at him on the edge. So like you take those guys and you take their frames and you bring in a guy like Wade who is a technique stickler and is someone who will work with your mindset and is someone who in practice, and because I've seen it, like it will emphasize explosion out of your stance and getting downfield and being violent and explosive and like I think all of that together. And you look at at Wade producing a first-round NFL draft pick at Georgia Tech last year. Like I think all of those things come together, and you're like, okay, like this looks pretty good. And again, you've got a multi-year starter in Gunnar Gatula who is getting looks everywhere but center right now. You've got Tyler Knack, who was a bowl game starter, who's a 5th-year guy. Like that's what you want as someone who's going to contribute along the line. Like I think all that comes together, and it comes together at a time when you have uncertainty at running back and you need to lean a little bit more on your blockers up front. And you have a quarterback in Calandria who can move around and avoid sacks in addition to what they're doing. So yeah, I think it's a combination of like the clay they brought in to mold is certainly solid, and the Potter who's doing it has done it before. So we'll see how it all plays out in concert with the rest of the offense. But I mean, just in terms of depth and talent and proven production, like this is a line that's certainly in the upper half of the Big Ten, maybe the upper third of the league. And we'll see. I mean, I feel like they're going to have to lean on it heavily, and they invested in it heavily. So we'll see where it goes. But I feel like it's in a pretty good spot.
One name that Matt, Coach Rule, is always bringing up that maybe people who aren't too familiar or fully familiar with how things are going on at their football program is Kriskin, and he's referring to Kriskin Coggin. She's the director of nutrition. Her official role is the athletic director of performance nutrition for Nebraska, and he brings her up like once or twice, like every time he's at the podium, because their nutrition and like what the athletes are eating and how like their bodies are composed, like all of that is tracked, and it is at a very, very high level, like what they're doing with nutrition for the football program. And they even talked about all the lean mass they added, all the fat that they lost, and all that type of stuff. My question is to you, have you talked to her? Has anyone talked to Kriskin Coggin? Is she someone who's been up at the podium? And do you think she gets brought up a lot. I'd be very interested to just have her explain all the things that they're doing there.
She was part of, I think it was a couple summers ago when Nebraska had a bunch of their staffers talk, whether that was the recruiting department or strength training beyond Corey Campbell and some of these other people. Kristin Coggin was one of those. I think they had media down for like a cooking demo that they have, and you can make a stir fry and do these different things. But I mean, yeah, she's a major part of what they do. And she was a priority hire for Matt Rule from South Carolina when he got there early in his time at Nebraska. And certainly they're investing financially. I mean, it's millions of dollars every year to fuel these guys right. Like that's always the analogy they say is like, if you're bringing in these Ferraris, like you better put the right gas in them. And so they're investing in that. I know, like on the road, she always gets there a day or two ahead of time before some of these games, just to set up the post-game meals and some of the things that they have. So it's at home, it's away, and a lot of her plans are personalized too, by position, by players individually. And it's like they work through with these guys. Like I don't know how directly she was involved in this, but like I always think of Jeremiah Charles from this past week, how they said he tried to gain weight. And he had a condition where it was harder for him to gain weight. And so he addressed that. Now he's gaining weight. Like they're very, like you said, very, very detail oriented with how they are composing the bodies of these guys, and Matt Rule laid it out with the lean mass that they've added, the fat that they've dropped. And I think it all goes back to what we were saying earlier about, like, it's a game of such small margins. Like, where can you find an edge? Everybody has a strength room, everybody has talent, everybody has resources, but how do you divvy those out and find a little margin where you can make a difference? And they feel like nutrition is one of those, and it plays, of course, in concert with strength training and coaching and in development and everything else. But that's been an area that they've given her a lot of free reign to put her plan together. And I know the players love interacting with her. She's part of the team. So I think she's been around long enough now that guys are in their second, third years in that nutrition plan. We'll see if that continues to pay out. But I do think that's a nod to Nebraska trying to find an edge to win, and they feel like they have one there in Kristen Coggan.
Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald. Thank you so much, Evan. Really appreciate this great conversation as always, and we will talk to you soon as the season just inches closer and closer here in Nebraska.
Appreciate it, Matt. See ya.
See you, Evan. Winning in the margins. Nebraska isn't going to out-talent, the best teams in the Big Ten. Like, you gotta find the little wins, like the places you can get slight edges in order for you to win those close games. And I'll tell you right now, man, they've invested heavily in that nutrition program. I'd love for her to go on the podium. I have questions. How many macros do I need? How much protein? I mean, I'm saying that in jest, but she is a massive part of what they do there at that football program. And that because Coach Rule brings her up all the time on the podium. So very interesting stuff. Hit a break. Odd News with Odd Sun coming up next here on Middays with Matt.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Odson.
Josh Odson, it's been a week. You've been a week away from your baby. A week away from your baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get the odd news.
Odd news. We begin with whatever tab this is on. DC. Washington, D.C., our
by the
nation's
way,
capital.
real quick, underrated city. I love D.C. I visited there multiple times. I love it. I think it's great. Move on.
Okay.
Move on.
Matt, pro Washington, D.C.
Favorite monument, the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial.
Okay, not what I would have thought.
Incredible memorial.
Stay tuned later in the show. What word does Matt Rule say in the locker room that Matt hopes he says other places? Or
By
something?
the way, MLK Jr. Memorial, underrated part of D.C., I think.
Okay.
Not enough people talk about it.
I think that's a good take.
Thank you. All right. What happened in D.C.?
I know most everyone's back to school. Omaha Public Schools, the largest district in the city, not back to school yet. Maybe you just talk to your kids for the next couple minutes. A suspicious object left outside Washington, D.C. firehouse shut down rush hour traffic and prompted a bomb squad response before being identified as a marital aid.
A marital aid?
Marital aid. Somebody went shopping at the toy store, if you catch my drift, and left it out front of a firehouse in Washington, D.C.
All right. You know what? I should have put two and two together.
Police were called to the station around 7 a.m. That's a really odd time. I mean, when you got the urge, you got the urge,
But
right?
it just fell out?
On a report of a suspicious electronic device with exposed wires outside the building. The person who left the object outside the building had reportedly spoken to an employee prior to tossing the device and leaving the scene. I would like to know more about that conversation.
Me too.
I don't have any more details.
So there was an argument, and then it was thrown, the exposed wire Toys R Us device.
I do have one more detail.
I need copious details, Podrick.
A police report identified the device as a, quote, electronic, and I'm going to say the word here, sex, portable pump device, end quote.
You don't need to put pump there. You can just say wireless sex device, and I think people will know what your portable pump. That's details we don't necessarily need.
All right.
What's our second story?
Headline: Family theme park slammed over disrespectful Titanic ride for kids.
What, they're mad it didn't sink?
But owner refuses to cave to woke brigade.
Continue.
A farm in the UK has been ripped as distasteful by parents after rolling out a children's ride modeled after the Titanic. The unsettling attraction is located at a fruit farm, which opened in 1981 and features berry picking, playgrounds, other things like that. You know the kind of farm. For just under $3 a pop, children can hop aboard a replica Titanic where tickets are handed out as boarding passes and the ship's name is clearly visible on the side. The boat kind of like tilts up and then it tilts back down. It sort of rocks back and forth. It looks a lot like the Titanic, but people are calling this insensitive. Like, hey, you wouldn't have a blimp and call it the Hindenburg ride, would you? I think I might. Like, I think enough time has passed.
Look, it's one of those things where the Titanic has come up a ton recently. There's a lot of Titanic-related issues over the last couple of years. We're really obsessed with that ship. We really are.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's the ship sunk. But we're really obsessed with it.
1,500 people died, and they're saying it's insensitive to have a ride named after it. Now,
but like,
there's other things that would be more insensitive. We're not here to name those things.
We are not here
but
to
you're
name
all
those
doing
things.
it in your car or at your desk right now.
What are they doing?
Naming disasters that would be more insensitive than the Titanic.
Yeah.
That's a good one that you just said out loud to your radio. That's a good one.
What are we on, like the Sprout Network right now, where you're waiting for the kids to give a response? You're Dora the Explorer of radio. Where should we go, Boots? All right, take a break.
Blue's Clues.
Middays with Matt, 1620 the zone.
He's from the third largest village in the world, Skokie, Illinois. Middays with Matt on 1620, The Zone.
We go to the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed.
It's a good Twitter feed.
Joe tweets at us. He goes, at producer Josh, at Matt McMedia, the carnival that came to my hometown used to bring one of these. your odd news stories made me think of it. And it is literally a sinking Titanic that you would climb up the stairs like in the middle of it, and then you would slide down the float. Now, is this AI image? This has got to be AI, right?
So the inflatable part looks real. Like the boat part looks pretty real. The person at the base of and this just happened, so I didn't have time to put the picture in the YouTube stream. The person standing at the base of this Titanic inflatable does not look like a real human.
I think it's AI.
Yeah.
But AI is becoming too convincing, if I'm being honest with you.
It's scary.
I'm getting got a little bit more often. Like, I haven't gotten got to the point where it's embarrassing, but I have gotten got, you know. There was did you see the elimination chamber little floatable pool thing yeah, look it up. Inflatable elimination chamber pool toy. And it looked like you had the pods and you had like the area that you could like splash in and everything, and like you could open up through the door. I thought that was real. I was like, I will spend all the money in the world to buy this.
Yeah, I would.
Is what I want.
I would have jumped on that.
There was another one that was like an inflatable lazy river, and I was like, this is worth it. This is incredible. We should buy this.
Here's one that is it is a Royal Rumble kiddie pool. On the outside, it is water, but on the inside, there's like a wrestling ring trampoline sort of thing. That's pretty fun, but not real.
My parents got a bouncy house for a party they threw last week. Okay. They got a full-fledged bouncy house.
Wait, for a party they threw last week?
Yeah. They threw a party last week, and
for who?
My little niece.
Okay, there was a child involved.
But there was only one child. Everybody else there were adults who were like middle-aged to old, like the type of people who get discounts at the movie theater now. And they got a bouncy house for the 1-year-old. And there was like, there were my two little cousins too, but they didn't need a bouncy house. They got a bouncy house anyway. I was like, am I old to the point where it's like, I'm afraid I'm going to hurt something if I'm in a bouncy house.
Absolutely.
Like if I saw trampoline, I feel like that's how my favorite bartender at Shucks, she like screwed up her knee on a trampoline.
I see a trampoline, and I'm sure everyone who's listening right now instinctively has this reaction to a trampoline as well. Ooh, trampa. I can't.
And I feel like this is a coming of age moment for me. We're back in the day. Believe it or not, only 10 years ago, I would see a bouncy house and I would go, let's effing go.
I've had this reaction to trampolines for the last 20 years, and I'm like, ooh, I can't do it.
That's how but I'm now 24. And I'm like, I've had one left shoulder surgery. My right labrum is torn. I never got it fixed. Like, I look at a tramp and I go, no, absolutely not. Trampoline. I probably should have nicknamed trampoline like that. That'd probably get me in trouble. We have some text coming into the Prairie Flower Casino's text line.
Oh, yeah. Let's
Prairie Flower Casino, play longer, win more. By the way, too, have you seen that 16-ounce ribeye deal that comes with asparagus and mashed potatoes?
I can't get it out of my head.
Dude, that is one hell of a deal. John types in, that Titanic float definitely needs an inflatable railing to bounce you higher, and then a plastic propeller at the bottom to slam into. My 2 cents. Doesn't that guy who hits the propeller in Titanic, doesn't he have a whole wiki page now?
Oh, wow. Really?
Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? Look up Titanic propeller guy.
Titanic propeller guy. Comes right up.
Wiki. God, how do you spell okay, I spelled propeller right.
The propeller guy, it's a Titanic wiki.
Yeah.
But not like Wikipedia.com.
He's a fictional passenger, and they made a whole like backstory for him.
Wow. Look at
this. It is a whole like who he was.
Chief Baker Charles Jofflin looked on, might be a soft J. Looked on this as this poor victim fell to his death. Oh, he was the onlooker. Okay.
Gotcha. By the way, it says right here in this page, Titanic statistics.
There were Titanic statistics, yes.
Boarded at Southampton.
Oh.
Going to New York, USA.
For this guy.
Fate fell from propeller and hit the starboard propeller. Tough.
falls from the poop deck. Always funny.
Always funny.
Hits the bronze hub of the starboard propeller, breaks his legs, body, and plummets into the sea. I vividly remember a deadly silent theater in 1997 and a young Josh Hodson cackling hysterically at that part. I was the only one.
That was a big deal when that movie came out. I feel like
Yes.
every time we talk about, hey, this movie did this, it has to beat the Titanic. Avatar and Titanic are going to live forever because any sort of box office stat has to include them.
I cackled. I was the only one that laughed. I was shushed, and everyone was staring daggers at me at this moment of tension in the movie. It did not get better when I applauded when Leonardo DiCaprio died. Spoiler alert for Titanic.
He definitely had room on that
At
door.
the time, he was the guy. The girls were all like, "Oh, you're fine, Josh, but you're no Leo." And I'm like, "What's this Leo guy got that I don't got?"
My mother,
I didn't know at the time. Okay, I was wrong. I bet on the wrong horse. Okay, one of our greatest actors. Okay, at the time, I thought he was just a pretty boy.
one of our finest actors.
Yes.
By the way, too, not one of the, like, him and Beyonce are the people you say one name and everyone goes, you know who they're talking about.
Yeah.
Leo and Beyonce, and you bet against that guy.
I did.
That's tough.
Bet on the wrong horse. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, that's on me. I point the thumb.
My dad showed me a bunch of movies growing up: The Hangover, Hot Tub Time Machine, Wimbledon with Paul Bettany,
These are all great movies for kids.
just to name a few. My mother only ever showed me 2 movies. Okay. The first was The Titanic. He's like, you have to see this movie. The second was Pride and Prejudice.
Which version? Keira Knightley?
The Keira Knightley version.
Okay.
With Mr. Darcy. And like, my mother has seen that movie 30 times, probably more than that. And she cries every single time. Every single time. Do you like that Pride and Prejudice movie with Keira Knightley?
It is. I like it better than the BBC Colin Firth version because it is shorter. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How long is the Keira Knightley Pride and Prejudice? It's a long movie.
I mean,
it's like 2 hours.
Yeah. But that's shorter than a miniseries, which
I prefer Little Women, the newest one with Florence Pugh, over that movie.
Good take.
That's kind of my, out of like that kind of genre of movie, I would take that one any day of the week. Pride and Prejudice, pretty good though. Pretty good. Titanic though, we talk about that boat a lot. I was talking about that boat. I was talking about that vessel. You know, never talk about the captain though.
Yeah,
You know, who's the captain of the Titanic? We always know the head coach of Nebraska. Who's the coach of the Titanic?
Are you saying the two could be related?
Is Nebraska heading for an iceberg? We talk about that. Yeah, I'm not doing that one.
Who's the Edward Smith of Nebraska football? That's the guy's name. I just looked it
Who?
up.
I
It's a
mean,
fairly generic
It
name.
actually is a great question. Who was the one steering when Nebraska hit the iceberg? Was it Callahan?
Steve Peterson.
It could be Peterson. Would we say Frost? Would we say that Nebraska just hit the iceberg?
I mean,
It's got to be Peterson.
there's a dented truck analogy in there that I just can't quite piece everything together. Mitch Trubisky's a Titan. Look at that. Wow. Okay.
He kind of looks hot in that jersey. By
It's
the
a
way,
good jersey.
those jerseys rock, dude. They rock.
Those jerseys bleep.
There's
let me tell
something
ya.
about white and baby blue,
Uh-huh.
and they just do it perfectly. You know. Now, here's the thing: why are they always changing their stuff? I feel like the Titans have changed their jerseys and logo more than anyone that I would know of in my time as a
They're
sport
always
fan.
looking for, they listen to the internet maybe a little too much.
By the way, did you get mad at the people who got mad at the Titans for wearing the Houston Oilers stuff?
Nope, I loved it.
Okay.
I loved the troll job from the
Yeah,
Titans.
I didn't. Once again, it's not Thursday. I did not care. I was like, I don't give a damn. But they kind of look like the Houston Oilers jerseys, is what they look like.
Oh yeah, that's on
So,
purpose.
Yo, without a doubt, great troll job from Tennessee Titans. I walked into the office this morning and I said, "Dang it, I haven't listened to Rick Pizzo talk about the Big Ten football preview with Nebraska." That happened. He talked to Rob Orch. He talked to Dana Holgerson. He talked to Matt Rule, Owen Chambliss, Cam Lenhart, to name a few. I said 3 things earlier in the show that I picked up on through this Big Ten preview with Nebraska football, right? They go to a practice. They talk about all of the different aspects of the team. A lot of Calandria talk, a lot of 4-2-5 talk, a lot of new DC talk, a lot of Holgerson, even went back, talked about his roots with the air raid, West Virginia and all that type of stuff. And there were three things I picked up on. A theme, something that might bite Matt Rule in the butt, and a word that I'm curious as to whether or not he says a lot in the building. Let's go to the theme. Old, experienced, mature. That is kind of the number. If you want to take away anything from what these guys have talked about in fall camp, right? When they first got to Nebraska, when Matt Rule first got to Nebraska, he talked a lot about standard, a lot about culture, right? Year 2, he talked chasing 3, talked a lot about close games, talked a lot about finishing the job. Last year, it was a lot of they believed that they were going to be a really good team. They truly believed that they were going to win some big games last year. And they talked up a lot of their guys. They felt great about the O-line. They felt great about the D-line. They felt great about the running back room, right? Anytime that anyone kind of expressed a shred of doubt in a press conference or podium setting, they made it very clear, 10 toes down. We are a good team. We believe in them. This year, the theme is age, experience, maturity. Orch has talked about it. Matt Rule's talked about it. Coach Holgerson has talked about it. They all talk about this is an old and experienced team. And I think it's one of those things where they believe that is a much bigger advantage than maybe people talking about the program will give them for, right? And they have talked now multiple times about just the advantages that they have when it comes to them being an old team, right? Dana said it. He's like, we are the farthest along I've been in 12 years of doing this in terms of the install and what we're doing. He said one of his first things he said at the podium, this wasn't in the Big Ten preview, but when he was just, the local press conference, he was just like, we're not doing a lot of like explaining. We're just doing. We don't have to teach a whole lot. We don't have to tell them where to go. We don't really have to tell them what to do. They know what they're doing. And hearing them talk about that experience and hearing them talk about their age, and they're right. They have a ton of guys who played a lot of snaps. Evans has played a lot of football. Brendan Black has played a lot of football. Calandria has played a ton of football. Ja'Cory Barney, right, is heading into his third year where he was a massive part of this team's the last few seasons. You go down the line, they got a lot of guys who played a lot of ball. And you look, and I know that this is a big comparison, and I don't want it to be taken out of context, but what did Indiana do last year? They won the national championship with a lot of 23-year-olds, with a lot of 24-year-olds, right? Get old, stay old. That's kind of what a lot of teams have done, not only in football, but just across college sports in general. And this Nebraska team last year had a lot of guys who had flashes, right? Who had moments, who you looked at and say, that guy has promise. But they had specific roles. They had spot roles. Last year was a big year for a lot of dudes to come in and say, no, this is your job now. Like, this is what you do. You're an integral part of the team. And some of those guys, it really wore down on them, right? It wore down on them. And they didn't take the jumps that you thought they would take. And, I talk about this with Tim Verghese all the time. Progression isn't linear, right? Progression does not work. Oh, you just get better incrementally year by year. Sometimes you just break out. Sometimes it just comes out of you. It just explodes. It's there. It happened with EJ, right? It wasn't just you could see an All-American running back coming. I mean, there were people who were still like, is he really a top-end Big Ten back, even after the Michigan game, right? Like, and then it happened for him. And so what can lead, though, to that happening and having that breakthrough is a lot of experience in your rearview mirror. Emmett Johnson played a lot of football games before he became the player he eventually did for Nebraska, right? I mean, Ty Robinson was here for 3 years before he finally, got to the level you thought he would be at. Same thing with Nash. Same thing with Deshaun. Like, it kind of just happens when it happens. And I'm very curious as to this being a theme of the offseason. And they have made it very clear in any kind of stop, any kind of opportunity to bring up their age and their experience, they've done that. And that's very interesting to me. And it makes me just take a little bit of a step back and say, like, all right, am I not accounting for that enough in my evaluation? Because that's something they've really been hammering home. Or are you going to just, does it not really matter? And they're just not talented enough to win, right? I mean, it's one or the other. So we'll see what happens there. But that is in a offseason that was super quiet and a fall camp where we had Evan Bland on. Evan Bland took about 5-6 minutes to explain, hey, this is this and this is that. And this is what he said. And it wasn't really a whole lot of nothing. Like this year in press conferences, like this fall camp press conferences hasn't really revealed a whole lot. Like, but that is the one thing that they've continuously hammered home. They've continuously talked about their age. And I find that very interesting. All right. Number 2, something that might bite you in the butt. The question was asked to him because they knew the answer was coming, which was, Matt, do you think this is your best team at Nebraska? And this is now like the 4th time Matt Rule has said, yes, by far, this is our best team.
It's one of the bigger talking points of the season. A lot of people have said this is the most talented team Matt Rule has had at Nebraska.
We did it. We went through it. I agree, just not by as much as I thought. I thought it'd be a bigger margin. It's not. But it is. I do agree with him. But this is the thing that it's like, at the end of the day, if they go 5-7, if they go 6-6, if they take a step back and they lose some bad games, or they're not a good team this year, we are going to go back to those quotes and say, really? This was your best team?
Most talented team Matt Rule's had. Beat Ohio 28-7.
Yeah, like that is going to be, and it's at this point, like it's kind of happened a couple of times now, where he says something very emphatically, very confidently, and says, no, this is how it's going to be. And then it's not. And then it's just like, all right, well, we're all going to hold this against you. This is the one that could bite him in the butt.
Someone will quote that every single Big Red overreaction this season.
Yes. That will, honestly, I talk about the theme of like this can't be in what they're saying is experience. But the theme of the season, whether it be good or whether it be bad, is it's either going to be one or the other. He did say this was the most talented team he's had. He did say this is why they're having success. He did call this, or we're going to look back and say, you don't even know your own team, bro. What are you talking about?
Every Monday, someone will call in and say that to us. I try not to be reactionary, but Matt Rule said this is the most talented team he's had. Or I just don't see it, Matt. I just don't see it.
Okay.
I'll hang up and listen.
So he keeps saying it. Every time he's asked, he goes, yep. Hokey Skur goes, do you want him to say they're a flaming hot dog crap? No, he just doesn't have to say anything. He can just not say anything. I'm not.
I like where we're at. I like the potential.
We can. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you how we're going to be this season, but I'll tell you this. The guys we got are the guys we got. And I'm really happy about how they walk in and they approach every single day here at the facility. I'm super proud of what they've done. And look, we're excited for the season. It brings a lot of great opportunity. That's all you can say.
There's not a single word in there that I would remember.
Exactly.
3 months.
So, and by the way, I'm not mad at him for saying it. I'm not pissed. I'm not like, why would you say that? I'm not saying any of that. He can say what he wants. I'm just pointing out the fact that could be something that we refer back to a lot and could bite him in the butt if this season doesn't end up going well. It also could be something we say, hey, he called it. He told us. Why didn't we listen to him? I'm just pointing it out. All right. One word that I'm curious that he'll say, if this is something that is a theme internally within the locker room. Okay. He was asked about, do you feel like because of how the schedule is laid out that you need to get off to a fast start? And he said in the Big Ten, preview interview, he said, well, fast starts haven't been the problem. It's been November. And he said November. He said it. I don't know how many, like how often. I feel like he said it before. He's definitely said the month of November before. But he this time really emphatically was like, no, we gotta be better in November. I'm curious if that is something that's if that is something that is consistently being brought up in the facility, in the locker room. If November, him talking about November, its importance, being strong in November, being tough in November, being ready for November, because they're 2-10. It's been the worst month. And in almost every year they've had, they're 5-3 or they're 6-1, they're off to a great start. Hell, they got an extension last year in the middle of the season because of how well things were going. And then November hits and you're like, ooh, when the going gets tough, Nebraska ain't getting going. And so I'm curious, like, once again, like, you had these consistent themes through the season within the locker room with Rule, chasing 3 and week by week and going 1-0 every week. And what was the standard, so on and so forth. I'm curious. I would like to know, like, hey, you kind of said it. You need to be better in November. Is that something you're really hammering home with your team? Are you consistently saying that month? Are you consistently, explaining the importance of that month and why you got to be better in that month? I'm curious if that's a word he says consistently. If I were at a press conference, I'd love to ask him. Hey,
but you're here instead.
We broadcast a lot. I'll just have a proxy. I'll just text somebody.
Ooh.
I'll just text Verghese. I go, ask him if he says the word November in the locker room a lot. I think that'd be an interesting question.
Reports of Matt Rule saying dreaded N-word in locker room. November.
You suck. You suck. By the way, Connor Happer, who also sucks, he tweeted out that's such a great tease. Matt Rule says a word. Does he say this word in the locker room? He also tweeted, because I like fantasy football, but I don't want to make this a fantasy football show. Like I don't like, don't talk about your fantasy football team.
Billions of people around the globe play fantasy football, but nobody wants to listen to anyone talk
Seriously.
about fantasy. It's a weird disconnect.
Well, unless you are a fantasy football podcast, which there's some stress, by the way, of being a fantasy football podcaster, I feel like, because
how's Matt Berry do it?
If you're telling people, hey, this is going to win your league, and that guy ends up sucking, people are going to be pissed because it's money on the line, brother.
Barry's the only one that's had any longevity in the business.
Yeah,
right?
Mike Clay has been doing a pretty decent job. Field Yates does more things, but he's on the Fantasy Focus podcast. Liz Yoza is another one.
Woman.
Yeah, she's great. Facts on Feeling. She's awesome. Daniel Dopp. He's the kind of but you don't really know him. He's whenever they do the fantasy football special on ESPN, he's the guy with the long hair, with the tattoos and like the band t-shirt. He looks like he just rolled out of a Kohl's, like that's that guy, but he's very good at fantasy football. Anyway, Happer goes at Middays with Matt. Not a fantasy football segment, but I got a couple guys you can take with a late flyer in your fantasy draft. Also a great line. Not a fantasy football segment. But Caleb Douglas is a really good wide receiver. He's a rookie. Not a lot of people are talking about it for the Miami Dolphins. So they got to throw the ball to somebody. Might be a good late flyer. Not a fantasy football segment.
Do they have to throw the ball to somebody, though? What if
they don't?
What if they couldn't move the ball all season?
Questions that we will be asking about a lot of bad football teams. But coming up next, we will ask questions to some people from the Omaha Storm Chasers. Martin Cordero is not here today for his biweekly interview, but we got Marcus and Alex from the Storm Chasers going to be talking about all the upcoming promotions and the cool things that you can do at Werner Park. So we'll hit a break here. We'll talk to our guys from the Storm Chasers coming up next here on Middays with Matt.
Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
All season long, we've had bi-weekly interviews with Marty Cordero, the president of the Omaha Storm Chasers. I don't know what Marty is doing, but he's not here today. I think he did. I think he told me exactly what he was doing. But regardless, we bring in Marcus Sabata, the vice president of the Omaha Storm Chasers, and our friend Alex Cedar making his return trek here to Middays with Matt, the director of marketing and creative for the Omaha Storm Chasers. Alex and Marcus, how are you guys?
Great. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Big weekend here for the Omaha Storm Chasers. A weekend where I will be there because I love NASCAR. It's NASCAR night on Friday. We have this incredible Noah Cameron bobblehead that will be given out. This will be on Saturday, correct? The Noah Cameron bobblehead. It looks a lot like our producer, Josh Odson, but also a lot like...
It really does.
A lot like Noah Cameron, too, which I never realized that you two looked alike. So awesome. Look, this is an awesome bobblehead, guys. Seriously. Incredible. So first, let me ask you, Marcus, like just how has this year been? Marty goes from, doing both Unit Omaha and like Storm Chasers. Now he's fully, back into the teeth of things. And, also, I mean, this has been a phenomenal year for you guys in terms of promotions, right? The Cagley, Jack bobblehead night. Then you had Ben Zobrist on Faith and Family night. Nebraska night was a massive success. Harry Potter night, Star Wars night. You guys have gotten really creative. Runza night was a blast. Just overall, how has this year been for you and just the things that you've seen at the park?
Well, it's been great, and appreciate you saying all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're trying some new things, as you kind of alluded to several of our promotions, and we're not exactly where we want to be. We want to do more of that.
Sure.
So we're trying some new things and seeing what works, and the things that work we'll bring back, and much like you mentioned with appearances, we had Willie Wilson. That was out there for Royals night. So we're looking at, maybe in 2027 doing more of those because we're finding our fan bases when you get Royals legends out there, it kind of a nostalgic thing. So yeah, our promo team and our marketing team and our ticketing team are looking at, finishing the season strong. We still have 18 games left, but then we're already in the planning phases for 2027 already. Wow. We did get our schedule. So our schedule has been released. So we know what dates we'll be playing next year. So just trying to get the schedule put together for next season and finish this year strong. So it's been great.
How do you balance, Marcus, like from a strategy perspective of like, hey, we got to make sure that we're doing the things we can do right the best while also adding some other elements? Like what is kind of that balance between adding things that you could be doing at the park from a revenue perspective, but also like mastering the things that you're currently
Well,
now?
we have a new this year we've had kind of a new strategy. It's called Vibe at the ballpark. So we're trying to, right when the gates open, we're trying to have as much entertainment outside the gate as we possibly can. We want to make it feel like it's kind of a circus type of atmosphere. So we're trying to do more of that, and in addition to that, short of Disney, maybe we survey our fans more than anybody. We have more analytical data in terms of surveys than we certainly did 2 or 3 years ago. So we've just really gotten into this. So we really want to listen to our fans. With what they want to see, what they feel important. It's baseball certainly is what we do. But we have found survey after survey after survey is that people want to come to the ballpark and they want to be entertained. So the vast majority of our fans couldn't tell you who's playing first base.
Sure.
For the Chasers, but they'll leave because they had a good experience. They couldn't tell you whether or not the Chasers won or not. So now we lean into that as much as we can with Noah Cameron, the bobblehead, you can't get too far away from the baseball side.
Sure.
But we want to add as much as we possibly can.
Well, I think you guys have mastered variety. Like when you go to that ballpark, from like what you can eat to what you can drink to there's sections where it's like, hey, if you got little kids, like you want to be toward the bounce house and you want to be towards like the family fun activity, where if you're more serious about baseball, right, you can get nice down real close. Like the stadium, the stadium is built in a way where it's like, it's a great place to watch baseball. And then if you want to just have a good time and be on the berm, and mess around and, like whatever, I think you guys have just done a really good job of, giving everybody who may want a different experience, like the best experience.
Well, we appreciate that. And I can tell you OVG over the last couple of years, I know Alex has been around the ballpark or around the ball team as long as I have. And, you know, I know our F&B OVG, they've really leaned into some of our specialty nights.
Sure.
With specialty F&B and trying to make it a little fun. So you know, it's hot dogs and hamburgers and popcorn are always going to be the staples. But you know, there's a value to, you know, our 2-foot hot dog, you know, and you know, different things like that. So yeah, you never know what you're going to see when you come out to the ballpark.
Alex, let's go to you, the director of marketing and creative. I got to ask you, you didn't bring a jersey in, but I hope you do. Do we have custom jerseys for NASCAR night? Is that what's going on?
We do not.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
there
are a few different of the IPs where there are levels to what those theme nights involve. Certainly something I think we could look into in the future. But we also we pretty much have like one big theme jersey a month. So the one for, you know, we only play 8 games in August, so I don't think we really had one this month. So the next one will be where we auction off our patriotic jersey on First Responders Night in September. So. You know, this is our second NASCAR night with Kansas Speedway, and we keep trying to grow it. We have Dale Jarrett coming out, NASCAR legend, this weekend. So, you know, if that continues to be a success, like Marcus said, we can, you know, easily, you know, if a jersey adds to it, we're all about levels, like just from the base level to, you know, what you see around the concourse, what the music is, what video clips are playing on the board, what the headshots look like. All that kind of stuff.
Well, I kind of asked Marcus kind of a similar question, like for you, you know, director of promotions, director of marketing and creative, like what is that process? Like, do you go, all right, hey, year one, we're going to dip our toe into this and we'll see. And then do you build on that? Or have there been, you know, kind of ideas and stuff that you guys do that you go, hey, we're going to go all into this right away. Like we're going to do the custom jersey. We're going to do the massive marketing. We're going to promote the crap out of it. Or is it kind of a slow burn sometimes? These things.
I think our intentions going into something new is always do the best we can the first time we do it.
Sure.
And then I think we learn from that. We learn from other clubs. We learn from best practices, like how we can enhance that night, especially, you know, we have, you know, 30 people in our front office who are all fans of something. So, you know, on a Harry Potter night, we can always, you know, there's always somebody with a suggestion of, oh, try this food item would be cool, or this thing on the concourse, this photo op, or like this year we had like a lollipop dancer out in front of the gate, like a lady dancing in a hoop that looked like a, you know, a Quidditch hoop thing. So, you know, again, it goes back to those levels, but yeah, we're always trying to start off at 100%. I think, but the positive of that is there's always something that we can add on to enhance the fan experience.
You know, it's funny. So my dad collected bobbleheads when I was growing up, and there were a couple of bobbleheads where I was like, that doesn't look like Sammy Sosa, you know, like that looks like some random player. And now you get to 2026 and these things are spot on, man. These are incredible. Noah Cameron, we'll post a picture of it on our socials here of just, I mean, him spread out in the full windup and everything like that. And then you got the Cags bobblehead where it looks exactly like Cags. For both of you, like, how have you seen the accuracy, the quality of bobbleheads and because like grow and then do you double down and say, well, we got to do more of them because it's just they look great and people want them?
They're certainly, I would say, our most popular giveaway item. You'll have people lined up for hours ahead of gates opening to grab a bobblehead. You know, we try to think ahead of time. You know, the production time on those is quite long. So we're trying to predict, okay, next year when we do 2 or maybe 3, you know, if we could do as many bobbleheads as we had Saturdays, that would be amazing. The cost of those, unfortunately, keeps going up every year too.
Yeah,
but
wow.
We're also, I think, maybe more so than some teams, sticklers on what those look like. We'll get, you know, an early draft of the head sculpt or whatever, and, you know, how the numbers look on the jersey or colors or whatever. But we'll go back and say, you know, hey, we really want this to look more like this photo. We'll provide a ton of photography, color swatches, all that stuff just to get those as accurate as possible. Something we really wanted on the Noah bobblehead, which I don't know if you can see it that well in the package, is actual like plastic for his glasses. Like the Rec Specs look is like his signature.
Oh yeah,
look.
No,
so,
it is. They're small little plastic. Yeah, that's awesome.
Actual plastic frames for his glasses, and you know that is his stance taken from a photo.
Yes, yeah. So the photo you took actually is on the back here, which I think is very neat. That you go, hey, this is the bobblehead, and then this is what we were copying. It's very smart.
Something to compare it to. And it just so happens he is absolutely tearing it up in Kansas City right now. So no better time. Our broadcaster, Nick Batters, is actually heading down to Kansas City today with my intern, Madison, and they're going to shoot a little video with Noah and some photos of him getting his bobblehead. We bought a bunch of bobbleheads down there for his family, who he's from St. Joe's. So when he was here in Omaha, they all made the trek up every time Noah was starting. So they all make the trek into Kansas City for when he starts there. So built-in fan base from the Cameron family and the Cameron clan, but also one of the nicest guys on the planet. So that was an easy choice for us to go with that bobblehead.
I love here on the Cags bobblehead, he has the specific divots right in the top of his batting helmet. I mean, it's an awesome detail. Ton of details on this too. Marcus, before we let you and Alex go here, because typically Marty comes in, and so I don't know the next time we'll see you, but you are a veteran of the Omaha Storm Chasers. You're the vice president of everything. What would be your number one tip to a family going to a Storm Chasers game? Hey, make sure you do this, or make sure you park here, or make sure this to maximize your experience, because you know this almost better than anybody else.
Well, it's a great question. I guess I would, from a family perspective, and it's promotion we have every Thursday. I guess there's 2 nights specifically if you're a family. I mean, Thursdays, and this Thursday is a $3 Thursday. So you can get hot dogs, Lay's chips, ice cream cones, 16-ounce Pepsi products. The parents can get 12-ounce Busch Light cans. So, and those are, you can get a $3 burn ticket, or you can get those concessions items for $3. And then Sundays is traditionally our family fun day. So you can come out and if you're a member of our Little Chasers Club, you come out, you get a free ticket. And then, kids run the bases. We have face painters. We have, a whole bunch of different promotions for families on Sunday. So, but yeah, there's, what is it? Tuesday, we have pitching for the pantry. So if you bring in, bring in 3 cans of non-perishable food items, you can get in, you can get in, for the price of those 3 cans. So there's a lot of different ways, money just doesn't go maybe as far today than it has in years past. So we want to make it as affordable for our fans as humanly possible. So we try to build in these value days, if you will. So you can bring out your family and have some fun at Warner Park.
Marcus Sabata, the vice president of the Omaha Storm Chasers, Alex Cedar, the director of marketing and creative. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Really appreciate all the things you guys do in the community, and going to a Storm Chasers game at Warner Park. Always a blast.
All right. We appreciate you having us. Well, we look forward to being back soon.
Absolutely. Well, Middays, Matt, we're going to keep it rolling here. We got some more college football to talk about with the AP polls came out today. Ohio State, the number 1 ranked team in the country. Nebraska will play 6 ranked teams this year. So we'll talk about that and some NFL stuff as well. We still have the Tennessee Titans and San Francisco 49ers preseason game rolling up here, because our Tennessee Titan fan, Josh Hodson, is a sicko. So keeping it moving here on the 1620 Zone Radio Network with MWM.
Family Man Josh Hodson, Family Man Matt Mc... You're kidding me, right? They want me to read this? Okay. Family Man Josh Hodson, Family Man Matt I'm sorry, there's just no way I'm going to get through this. You're listening to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
All right, in the saga of I hate this frickin' computer with all of my might, it now just won't turn on. And it's plugged in. This is so frustrating. And my phone died too. So I'm disconnected from the world right now, by the way.
Oh, what a feeling.
I am completely
feeling.
Nobody can get to me. All right.
Oh.
If you want to get to me through the web, you can't. All right. You can't email me on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. You can't tweet at me at the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed. You can't. You could call me on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline, but you can't text me because I don't have it. Nothing's on. It's frustrating. It's very frustrating. By the way, congratulations to Doug and the folks at Equitable Bank. They take banking personally. They always pick them in the first ring. They went ahead and had that fun little celebration on Friday. It looked like it went great. Doug was getting dunked in the tank. Did you hear about this dunk of Doug?
Whoa, no, I would have been there.
No, well, you were on your vacation, and we were so happy that you were on your vacation.
I've heard this.
And
everyone was so happy I decided to take time away that they bothered me every single day.
I only texted you a couple times.
Not talking about you. Not talking about you.
I made it very... Now, here's the thing. I texted you yesterday, and I was like... Or I texted you Saturday as well. When I texted you Saturday, I was like, I think his vacation is up. Like, I can text him now. Like, he's technically in work mode. We're heading into the new week, you know? Was that off base? Because I didn't want to text you during the week. I was like, guy's on vacation. I don't want to bother him.
Vacation was over at 9 o'clock this morning.
You got in a little early today, by the way.
I did.
Well, you beat me today.
I beat you here.
Tough. I parked in a different spot. And it was kind of weird. What's wrong? Did you just write on your head?
I think
Did you just literally write on you scratched your head while holding your pen, and now there is ink on the back of your head.
I thought the pen was retracted, but it was
You're gonna
protracted.
You're
Would
gonna
that be the opposite of that.
You're gonna walk into the Hy-Vee today shopping. People will be like, "Oh wow, that's a terrible head tattoo, skull tattoo." By the way, underrated tattoo, Jamie Foxx's head tattoo, the one he's got on the back of his head. I didn't know he had like a head tattoo.
I have forgotten this.
It kind of blended in.
Yeah.
Overrated tattoo?
Whoa.
Dude, his back of the head tattoo is pretty good. That sounds like a really good fantasy football team name. Jamie Foxx's head tattoo.
Yeah. He's got to be the only Oscar winner with a tattoo on the back of their head, right?
Great question, Josh Odson. I don't know. I do not know. Hey, I saw a take in cinema. Real quick. We'll talk about sports in the next segment.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. Don't worry about it. Someone had to take that Bradley Cooper hurt his career by Oscar hunting. That he really wanted to win an Oscar, and he took all that time to make Maestro, where he learned how to be a conductor.
He took the years to learn how to be a conductor.
Just to lose to Cillian Murphy.
Not even
close.
Not even close.
It wasn't even competitive. Yeah. Did he got nominated though?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah. But Cillian won it that year. Cillian. Dude.
It's just so
Cillian killed it in Oppenheimer.
The thing that Bradley Cooper did that bothers people.
Okay.
It's so obvious. He's not just, this is a good script that came along my desk. I really like the script. I'm really invested in the work. And it just so happens that it turned out to be the best performance of the year. Bradley Cooper is so obviously trying to win an Oscar by, like, you can see the seams of the work, the stitches,
it's Oscar scripts.
Next, he's probably going to gain 250 pounds for a movie.
Oh, yeah, that's what you have to do.
Look how hard I'm working at winning an Oscar,
if you can't get it done in the actual performance, now we need to start doing body composition work.
Exactly.
Right? Christian Bale is great at this, where it's like Christian Bale's performances are already awesome. But then they turn into, oh my God, look at how much weight he gained for, when he was the Dick Cheney movie. What was that called? Vice?
Yeah, that's right.
I watched 5 minutes of that movie, and I was bored.
I think I have to have lived through it.
I didn't really I didn't understand the gravitas that Dick Cheney had on this country. I didn't understand how interesting he was to people until people explained to me why Vice was awesome. He got nominated for Vice, right? And he didn't win. Yes. I don't think he won, but he got nominated for that. I'm fine. Yeah, I'm okay with Oscar hunting. What you're describing though is like the guy who's trying too hard to get the girl to go to prom with him.
Right.
And you're like, Ricky,
if you would have asked, I would have said yes. I didn't need a promposal.
Brother, you're good. You're fine. You don't need to purposefully have all your classes with Courtney so she can go. You can just act cool. You're a good actor, Bradley Cooper. Now, the new Doomsday trailer came out. You, much like other people, Michael Severe as well, had some pretty big reactions to it. You're very, very happy. Is this correct? Is this true?
I was pleased with the most recent trailer that came out last weekend. Yes.
I am a little worried though because I'm like,
oh, I'm still worried. I still got concerns.
I'm like, did they use all their bullets on the trailer because people are worried like us? Because that trailer,
a fair reaction,
was so good that I was like, did they just grab all of the best parts of this movie that people would like, and the movie instead is not going to be any of this? It's not going to be any of this. It's going to be a bunch of other. I mean, I like I'll tell you why the Avengers works. The first Avengers works because it's 7 superheroes, right? It's Hulk, it's Scarlett Johansson, it's Thor, it's Robert Downey Jr., Captain America, and then you have Hawkeye and then Nick Fury. That's why it works.
The Nemesis was so great. One hero wasn't enough. They had to all come together.
And they had to be a team. Great. I don't need 37 superheroes. It's too many superheroes. You're going to too many places. You got to have basically Infinity War does it, but you got to have 3 different movies going on, and then they all come together at the end. I don't like that. I think it's too much. You have 4 different teams. It's just pick your best 8. Pick your best 5. Come to the court, and you win. You stay. Pick your best 5. We don't need to do 37. It's a little ridiculous. All right. Take a break. I have a Bill Simmons summer segment coming up next here on Middays with Matt.
Josh Hodson's boyhood hero was Hank Aaron. Matt McMasters was the guy from the Dos Equis commercial. Now it's starting to all make sense. Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
His rejoins have rejoins. They stop severe weather coverage to hear his sportscast. His first words were a hot take. He is the most interesting broadcaster in the world. I don't always listen to radio, but when I do, I prefer Middays with Matt. Stay listening, my friends.
A rejoin within a rejoin.
Yes! Look at that. That will happen. I will make that. Accountability. I will finally make that graphic. Which one am I referring to? Even Josh Hodson doesn't know. Okay. And I will finally make the Dos Equis theme rejoin. I just wanted someone else to voice it for me. Because it's a little weird if I voiced my own rejoin.
Sure. Yeah.
But maybe that is like he voices his own rejoins. But I don't know if that's very interesting. That's more like we don't have a ton of production value.
I mean, it's going to come off one way or the other. It's going to come off as, it's clever. He's voicing his own rejoin. Nobody really does that. That's interesting. Or, wow, what a cheap production company.
Or it'll come off as, I don't really care.
Yeah.
That's what it'll come off.
I don't know.
Sometimes we do rejoins for us. The rejoins are for
Right.
us. You got to hold the rejoins. You can't just give out the rejoins, which a lot of contracts are just being given out in the NFL. Najee Harris seems like he might be on his way to being a New York Giant. Von Miller going to the Dallas Cowboys. You forget Von Miller is a Hall of Famer.
At this point, yes, I do. I also forgot he was a Commander. Everybody was using that photo yesterday.
Yeah, why not use the one where he literally won the MVP of Super Bowl 50?
Yeah.
How about that one? He actually very sneakily was good with the Bills. Now, from a pass rushing perspective, he was good with the Bills, right? He had 14 sacks and the 2 full seasons he actually played with them. Now, run fits were a little hit or miss. You know, he wasn't as great in the run game in Buffalo as he definitely was in Denver. But he is, he never won a Defensive Player of the Year award.
I only know that because I'm literally staring at the awards section of his Wikipedia.
I knew this. He never won a DPOY, which is kind of crazy to me. Now, granted, Josh Hodson, close your ears. It almost adds to the legacy of J.J. Watt that Von Miller never won a Defensive Player of the Year award, because Watt was so good that he was the first guy to win back-to-back Defensive Player of the Year awards since like the 80s when Lawrence Taylor did it. Like that was when he did it. It was like the first time in almost 30 years somebody did that.
Real meaningful accomplishment, that Defensive Player of the Year award.
Oh, get out of here! Get out of here! I know you can make fun of other things about JJ Watt. That's totally.
I got a whole
that's
Rolodex
totally okay.
Of things I
but
can make fun
you
of.
can't roll your eyes at DPOY. He at one point was the best defensive player. At one point, probably the best player in all of football.
And all he has to show for it is a Champs Sports Bowl trophy, the most meaningful game JJ Watt has ever played in.
Okay. Fair enough. I can't now. Prime Watt. You got to admit, Prime Watt, pretty great. You have to admit
an excellent football player.
Thank you.
He'll be the first to tell you.
All right, can you go to the Prairie Flower Casino text line? I don't think I can read this fantasy football team name.
Oh, probably not.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go ahead and say no. If you think you can't, you probably can't.
I want you to read it, though, and because it's a good one. I just can't read it. It's not appropriate. It's just not. Now, my mom was not very happy with me growing up when I was about 12 years old, and my fantasy football team name was the Favre Dollar Footlongs. She did not.
That's pretty good.
She did not find that very funny that her 11-year-old baby boy was referring to Brett Favre's. You know what? I got in trouble for that.
Gotta remember my password. It's loading. I think I got it. All right. I'm in.
Tyler. It's Tyler's text.
Tyler.
I can't read that. It's funny, though.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not.
Probably could, but
Probably, yeah, but
let's
like,
err on the side of caution.
we are the most progressive and respectful show on this radio station. It would be some people could take it the wrong way.
That's pretty funny, Tyler.
It's so funny, Tyler. It's so
For those of you in the audience wondering, whatever could they be talking about?
It's, you know what? Chance's team name would be this. We were on the same page.
That's right.
Chance's team name would be what Tyler texted us. Not a fantasy football segment, but Caden Weegen actually could be sneaky out of the slot for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's looked awesome in the preseason, which I was never big. And look, we know Caden, all right? He's a Reaver. He's come on. Well, he didn't come on the show, but we had a great time with him at the Jet Awards the last 2 years. Great guy. Coach Stroh, awesome. I was never like, man, second round pick, or like I was never that bullish to be like he needs to go day 2 or whatever. But I really like, he was a guy I was like, I would love the Bears to draft him because we needed a punt returner. Instead, we signed Khalif Raymond. I was like, I wanted the Bears to get Caden Weegen so badly. And I thought that whatever team he got drafted to, I'm like, he's going to be an instant impact guy, punt return. And he already is. But now I think, look, he was playing for Iowa. If you want to really hamper your opportunity to be drafted as a wide receiver, okay, play at Iowa. Right? They're not, seriously.
That's correct.
That is if you are a wideout and you are ranking the worst power school to go and play wide receiver at, unless you love to block, okay? Iowa is there. And I think now you're kind of realizing like, nah, he was a dynamite wide receiver for them out of the slot and did some really nifty stuff for him. But they were Iowa. They didn't really throw the ball. And he made his hay, 2-time Jet Award winner, in the punt return and kick return game. And that's why he got drafted where he got drafted, because of that. But I think the Steelers are finding out. They're like, wow, we can do, man. Can you imagine Caden Weegen is like mini Randall Cobb in a way? Probably not a good comparison. But Aaron Rodgers and Caden Weegen, that connection.
Yeah, they probably
pretty good.
We'll
man.
find a little something.
Be pretty good. Also, too, Caleb Douglas, another rookie wide receiver out of Miami. Watched EJ's film, Emma Johnson's film versus the Rams. Here's what I have to say. He's EJ.
Sweet holding call.
BS, dude. So, and when I mean like, oh, he's EJ, like that's not lazy analysis, right? It is, he looks the same. He looks the same from when he played at Nebraska.
Very familiar.
Which is a great thing because you're going up a level, right? Like you're going up a level. And even I know he's not playing against the ones, but you're still going up a level when you play preseason football, right? Because it's the best players of college football together. Like now from a talent perspective, maybe not like a cohesion and coaching perspective, but you get what I'm saying. The guys are faster, right? The guys are more physical, right? You got guys who have been playing NFL football for a long time, even with the 2s and the 3s. The fact that I turn on the tape, a lot of action happening on Dodge today.
Sorry,
by the way.
I'm easily distracted. No,
I know, but it's a little ridiculous today. People got to figure it out on Dodge.
There's a truck horn.
Look how backed up we are going. We're backed up going east.
It's 1 o'clock.
Yeah, we should be. Is people coming back from their lunch breaks? Is that what we're doing here? Why are we so backed up going east on Dodge?
A lunch break.
Oh God, I just eat chips and cheese and meat. I have hors d'oeuvres all day before I actually eat a meal. That's probably why I've lost a little bit of weight. But what was I even saying? EJ
looks like EJ.
It's perfect. It's great. That's what you want. You want him to look the same like he did at Nebraska because he was an All-American at Nebraska. So I think I was encouraged. Shout out to Deshaun Singleton. He had a really good game. Mitch Holthus, his daily training camp reports with USC. I very much enjoy listening to those because I'm just very curious as to what KC looks like. And
so does Stibbs.
Dude, that was so funny.
He was on that show the other day.
Yeah, on Friday. And did you hear this?
No.
Mitch was like joking with Stibbs or whatever because they have a history. And Mitch was like, I respect Mike Stibbs greatly as a broadcaster. And Stibbs later was like, I don't think I've ever been called a broadcaster before. It's so funny. And then Holthus went ahead and he took a bunch of shots at the Broncos. But, Mitch had some great insight on Deshaun Singleton, where he said, look, Deshaun, like, if he has a good game against the Rams, like, he's got an opportunity to make the practice squad. And that's first off, practice squad, not bad living, by the way. You get you seriously, like the amount of time that those guys get paid, especially I know in the new CBA, they're going to try and get more years for those guys on the pension so they can eventually reach the pension plan and get some money back, which I really hope that happens because they put in a lot of work, man. Have so much respect for guys on the practice squad just from and I've only learned this because where I was at ESPN, like you meet guys like that, right? You meet guys who like came in and all that type of stuff, and it's a grind. But Mitch had some great insight on Deshaun, and that Deshaun needed to have a good game, and that he had a real opportunity if he had a good game to make the practice squad and maybe eventually make the Kansas City Chiefs roster. I mean, if we're just talking from like a measurable standpoint, right? Like Deshaun's got an NFL body. He's got the height, he's got the length, he's got the frame to be an NFL safety. And so it's just he's got to be given an opportunity, and he has to put that together. And you know, he had some a pretty good game. Ended up having 3 tackles. I think I want to look at his PFF grade. I think it was pretty. So he had a 79.5 PFF grade on 20 snaps. That comes from Sean Callahan's article that he wrote this morning on his weekly rundown. And he ended up having 3 tackles, and 2 of them were really just a high quality tackles, high quality play. And he had a breakup on the 3rd down as well. So hoping that, you know, Deshaun can continue to carve out opportunities for himself at the NFL level. But back to EJ, really, really impressed with his first tape, 12 carries, 59 yards. He looked the same. He looked like the same guy that we were used to seeing. Did you also see what happened in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game, Josh Hodson?
No.
So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers was playing in a preseason game, and there were 3 former Husker offensive linemen that were lined up side by side by side. So it was Henry Lutovsky, Ben Scott, and then Nash Hutmaker. This happened last year when he went to Ravens training camp. They switched him from D-line to O-line. So Nash right now is playing offensive guard right now in the NFL. And they were playing those 3 guys, 3 former Huskers, all lined up on the interior in their preseason game. Some pretty neat stuff. There's a cool video on it that I saw on Twitter. 5 Huskers, by the way, on Tampa Bay's current training camp roster, which include Javen Wright, one incredible story, you know, the adversity that he had to fight through all those, you know, injuries and medical scares that he had at Nebraska to eventually now fighting for, you know, roster and practice squad spot on the Tampa Bay Buccaneer roster. And don't forget about John Bullock, who, I remember sitting there being like, John Bullock made the 53-man Tampa Bay roster, and we were like, holy crap, like that's incredible. Did it by grinding on special teams. We'll see if he's able to do it again for the Buccaneers this season. So real quick, is a little segment I want to do. Still talking about the NFL. I try to identify teams in the NFL that have one problem. And if they could fix that one problem, I'm like, you know what? They could figure it out. And there are teams that have like multiple problems. Honorable mention, I love my Chicago Bears, but they got to figure out that or left tackle position, and they now have to figure out their safety. Like it might get to the point where it's going to be tough for the Bears to get guys to break out and put it all together to push through, right?
I saw a lot of Jordan Vanderberg videos this week.
He looked good
on vacation.
He looked good though.
That guy's got a straight shooter with middle management written all over him. You know, love that guy.
I do. First off, Vandenberg, that's a Bears D lineman. You know what I'm saying? That's a Bears D lineman right there. Vandenberg. Yeah, I love Vandenberg, man. Anyway, it's like the Bears have multiple. The Kansas City Chiefs, right? Like, is Mahomes gonna be okay? And do they have a deep ball threat? And do the guys who didn't play great in the front 7 last year, do they take it? Like, they have 3 questions, right? So I try and identify teams that have like 1, because it's like if you have 1 question, if that just one thing needs to be solved, that's where you get good value, right? And so last year, when I bet on the Seattle Seahawks to win the Super Bowl plus 1,200, no big deal, Matt McFutures, I sat there and I said to myself, I was like, you know, if they find a run game, like they're going to figure it out, because they had everything else. Darnold was killing it. The defense was the defense. They were so good. one of the best in the league. Nobody knew what they were lining up in. Nick Amon-Wari was just an absolute animal for them. You go and you're looking at a crowd. You're like, they only need a run game to really pick this thing up. They found it in the playoffs. They end up winning a Super Bowl. So these are three teams that I think I have one. If they can answer this one question, I think they could end up making deep runs. The Bengals, average defense. If they just have an average, and they added Dexter Lawrence, and they added to that secondary, like if they can just have an average defense this season, that offensive line, they kept their continuity. 4 of the 5 of them are back. They weren't great last year. They were 26th in PFF overall grade, but I think they're good enough, and they've been playing together enough to be, play to a level that it's not going to hamper the team. Chase Brown, Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. Like, this offense is going to score. This offense is going to they are going to put points on the board. If they can just get an average defense, okay, and I know we've been saying this for a little bit, but if they can just get average defense play, Joe Burrow is very bullish on this team. Joe Burrow has a ton of confidence in this Bengals team. And I have a lot of confidence in Joe Burrow. Obviously, the knock on him is that he's got to stay healthy. But, man, I kind of like him for an MVP pick. Joe Burrow. I kind of like him for an MVP pick, man. They have a really easy schedule. They don't play a lot of tough teams this year, in part because they weren't that great last year. They got Sexy Dexy from New York. That's just immediately going to make them so much better on the defense because his adding alone. Easy schedule, all the weapons around him. I think they're going to have an opportunity to win a lot of games. Like, I like the Bengals a lot. I like Joe Burrow a lot. I think if this defense is average, they have an opportunity to go pretty far. My second team with one question, the Jaguars. I don't look, obviously, like, Trevor Lawrence has got to take a step up in the playoffs, right? That's got to be better. His performance against Buffalo wasn't great last year. And he has that one playoff win because Justin Herbert and the Chargers absolutely collapsed. But I look at this Jacksonville team. They were number 3 in EPA per play last year on defense. They bring back a lot of their same guys. Hines Allen, Eric Armstead, Trayvon Walker, Travis Hunter, now going to be full-time cornerback. I think that's going to be massive for them. They bring back a lot of their pieces they've had, in previous seasons. Some of them are going to be taking bigger roles, but I expect this Jacksonville Jaguars defense to once again be really, really, really good. And Trevor Lawrence last year, Mina Kimes stat, he was number 3 in EPA per drop back in the second half of the season. Liam Cohen, I have so much respect and confidence in him as a play caller. They just don't have a running back. They went, Travis Etienne went to New Orleans, and they had a very interesting draft where a lot of people didn't like their draft, and their GM is a younger guy who says some very like poetic things, but you're like, what are you even talking about? Like they've had this kind of weird mystique and vibe around them this season that not a lot of people are buying into them. But if you just look at the facts is that they were a good team last year. They bring a lot of those same pieces back. And I think that the defense could even maybe be a step better with Hunter going for sure 100% defense. And I love the variability of their weapons that they have, right? They have guys who can go deep in contested catches. They have guys who can have short routes like Brian Thomas Jr., Jacoby Myers, Parker Washington. I think that's a really solid combo of different guys who can do different things. They just got to find a running game. They got to find a running game. They were 14th in run block in PFF grading last year. Bashal Tuden is a guy that I really liked out of Virginia Tech. I thought that he was a bowling ball, just bouncing off of guys. He was a dude that the Bears needed a running back. And I wanted them to take him. I was all over him. Great speed, great strength, really good contact balance. It's just he hasn't played, right? And sometimes you get these guys who get into bigger roles, and you're like, okay, like, all right, he's great, and he's exactly what you need. And sometimes you get Tank Bigsby. Remember, we were talking about Tank Bigsby all the time when it came to being behind Achane, and now he's gone, right? Like, that didn't pan out. Jerick McKinnon, do you remember that name? We were all freaking out about Jerick McKinnon. Hey, he finally has his opportunity and never panned out. For Jordan Mason, Tyjae Spears, right? There are so many of these different, like, running backs. We kind of sit here and go, all right, as a handcuff, they were pretty good. Now they give you an opportunity and they kind of fall flat. Is Tuden going to be that guy that takes the next step? And then CJ Stroud. If CJ Stroud plays well this year, why can't the Texans make it to the Super Bowl? That defense is incredible. Historically good defense. Will Anderson, Daniil Hunter, Petrie, and Lassiter. And then they, on top of that, they bring in Reed Blankenship, which I think just people completely ignored. Of just a really solid piece in the secondary for the Eagles last couple of years. They bring him in; he's only going to be better. And D'Amico Ryans, man, I just feel like he just kind of gets glossed over, right? If D'Amico Ryans was an offensive guru, we'd be speaking about him as much as we speak about Ben Johnson. But that's how he is, and he is a phenomenal coach. It literally just comes down to C.J. Stroud playing better, and it's not just like his completion percentage is the same. He's just turning the ball over more, being less effective in the red zone, and then his ADOT has gone down a ton. His average depth per target from his rookie year to last year went down 1.5 yards. That's a ton. That's a ton from a quarterback perspective. He's just not pushing the ball down the field. Now, does that have a lot to do with Tank Dell not being around? Probably, but he's still got some really solid weapons with Noel, Higgins, and then you add in Nico Collins. I just think if you can get, and this offensive line has got to be better. And they got some actual names on the offensive line now. But if you can get rookie year CJ Stroud, I think the Texans could potentially win it all. That's how good their defense is. And their run game was the worst in the league last year. David Montgomery could end up being a pretty big get for them. That, once again, they made Texans made some sneaky moves. Not a lot of people talked about. Made some real sneaky moves that just kind of, David Montgomery's a longtime NFL player. He's a really good player. Reed Blankenship. Played a lot of football. Played a lot of good football. Going to be there with the Texans. I don't know, man. These three teams, Bengals, Jaguars, Texans, and this wide open AFC, those are just three teams that I feel like don't get mentioned enough, and they're really just one step away. I love all three of these teams. I love their coaches. I really like a certain aspect of that team, and their questions are answerable. There is a world where Bashal Tutin's a good running back. There is a world where the Bengals defense figures it out. There is a world where C.J. Stroud finds that mojo he had in year one as being a quarterback as a rookie, having one of the best rookie seasons we've ever seen. Those worlds exist. I don't know. Interesting. Matt McFutures. I wouldn't be surprised if I pull a trigger on one of these teams. All right. Hit a break here. Robin Washut of Husker Online coming on next here on Middays with Matt.
He's from the third largest village in the world, Skokie, Illinois. Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, don't forget to go to 1620thezone.com to enter into our Oregon trip contest. We are sending 2 lucky people, a Nebraska football fan, and a guest to Eugene, Oregon to see the Huskers take on the Ducks on Saturday, October 17th. We're sending you 2 round-trip airfare for 2 from Omaha to Eugene, a 2-night hotel stay, and a $150 gift card for food, rides, or game day gear. If you win, go ahead and enter at 1620zone.com and keep listening on Sportsmanlike Conduct for bonus chances to win this week. We bring in from Husker Online and On 3, Mr. Robin Washut. Robin, how are you, my friend?
Doing well. In the middle of mowing the lawn, so you give me a nice cool down break here.
Absolutely. Now, how seriously do you take mowing your lawn? Has this become a hobby where it's like you're sanding everything down, you're making sure that it looks perfect, you're putting the lines in the grass, or is this more of just it's a chore and daddy's got to get it done?
Maybe not as obsessive as some, but
okay.
I do take pride in my lawn craftsmanship. And so we're not just over there slopping it together. The lines are straight.
Good.
The edges are clean. The clippings are removed and disposed of. And so, we're not slobbing it up over here at the Washut residence.
Taking care of the details is Robin Washut when it comes to his lawn. And we can respect that. And then we actually expect nothing less from a man. Now, do you get annoyed with other people's lawns in your neighborhood if they aren't taking the pride that you take? Okay.
Yes.
Absolutely.
You spend all this time mowing and aerating and fertilizing and all this stuff where you're next to 2 houses down from some dude with a yard full of dandelions that just blow straight in your yard. And you have to do all this work just to prevent the destruction that this lazy neighbor is doing. I've got a few of them that I'm looking out at my street right now that pop into my head, but you know what? We're still holding down the fort to try to keep property value high in this neighborhood.
Now I know we will talk about Husker football at some point, but I'm actually a little bit more invested in your lawn. I will. Would you ever say anything to those neighbors? Would you ever say anything? Be like, hey.
Oh, no. I mean,
okay.
If it got to the point where it was becoming a real issue, it's the type of people mow once a month, so it gets a foot high and then they finally mow it. But if I'll give them glares, I'm driving by, instead of the cordial neighbor head nod or 2-finger wave as I'm driving, I just kind of stare at them.
Yeah.
Give them that, you know why I'm mad type
yeah.
of thing.
Yeah. I love that. Taking care of the details is Robin Washut. Taking care of the details is Husker football. What's your I feel like it's just been kind of it was a quiet off season. And there's a lot of battles to be discussed and a lot of different things happening. But do you feel like the quiet off season has kind of bled a little bit into fall camp in a way that it is still kind of you're guessing as to what's going to happen and things are a little bit more chill around the team and a little bit more chill when we get into the press conferences? Is that a vibe that you're getting, or do you think we have fully switched to, we're ramped up, we're going?
I think it's still toned down.
Yeah.
Listening to Matt Rule, somebody did a look back, and the press conference after the first fall camp scrimmage was over 30 minutes long last year.
Yeah.
This year it was 13 minutes, and it wasn't due to a lack of questions. It was just short answers and really not being all that interested in expanding into much detail about position battles or scrimmage standouts or anything like that. So that's, like you mentioned, just kind of been the theme all off season, and I haven't really noticed much of a change, even as we everybody else is kind of starting to dial things up a little bit as the season approaches. The message from what's happening internally with Nebraska to what's being said publicly is still pretty limited, to say the least. And again, I think that's entirely by design by the head man himself.
Yeah, it's funny, man. Sometimes he would be, because I was at those press conferences year one with you. Sometimes you'd be like, all right, Matt, we don't need all that information. It'd be 40 minutes long, and you're like, all right, let's wrap this up. And now it's kind of pulling teeth a little bit in some ways to get any sort of just even hey, how does Danny Odom look, or how does this guy look? Do you think that's just a cause of, the pressure, or just the lack of maybe, there have been results. There have been positive results for Nebraska football under Matt Rule. But do you think him just being a little toned back and just things being different in the press conference just have to do with the results on the field and the narrative around the program?
Yeah, that's part of it too. But I also get the sense that, he's kind of learned from past experiences what happens when you say too much.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to put himself in those situations. I thought his comment about, Holgorsen doesn't care. He'll say whatever he wants and whatever he feels, which I genuinely appreciate from him. But, for a team that's trying to be as buttoned up as possible, Rule made an interesting comment where he feels like sometimes he has to walk around landmines that Dana puts out there when he pulls back the curtain a little too much. And so that to me tells me that Rule is like, he hears when he hypes a guy up or, praises a player, and then that player doesn't light the world on fire come the season. And, the backlash that, Rule got for giving him that praise, I think he's kind of just decided he's done with that. He's going to let the players do the talking for themselves on the field, which, I think there's a good portion of the fan base that that's how they want it. They're tired of being told how great everything is only to be let down every single season. So, at least this season will be different in that, you're not getting set up for failure. You're having to find crumbs here and there to build up that optimism, which, is a different way than certainly we've seen around here in a long time. But I think that's just kind of a natural progression from one, the seasons being, disappointing by and large, and then kind of the blowback Rule has gotten when he, probably says a little bit too much about, especially individual players.
Well, it's gone both ways too, right? Because he hypes up a guy, or he says that the defensive line is hell on wheels, and we get on him for that. But then he also says he's brutally honest about Anthony Grant and his fumbling issues, and then he fumbles against Minnesota, and then that's the other way, right? So you are kind of right. Like, there is a history of maybe him revealing a little bit too much, and then people, I wouldn't say putting the feet to the fire, but being critical of that. And it is interesting to see his evolution. Do you wonder if you ever get that back? Like, you ever get that type of conversations back at the podium if it just turns into Nebraska winning a lot of games? Or do you think that this could just be the future of how it communicates to fans and media?
Yeah, I mean, I think he kind of learned some hard lessons with what happens when you feel like you say too much, and you go to other places, like that's not. I think it's just the fact that it's been so different with Nebraska, where there's been so much talking, off-season hype, and all that stuff at Nebraska. Like, where you go to other schools and they have one media availability all fall camp.
Yeah.
And so it's I think that's maybe Nebraska's returning to the mean a little bit, as opposed to taking some drastic thing. They're just kind of doing what a lot of other schools are doing, and keeping things maybe a little bit toned down than in previous years. But and then I think in the end, this whole conversation is only being had because they haven't played a game yet. The season,
1,000,000%.
and it's nobody cares. Nobody cares at all about who got pumped up during spring ball or who was the fall camp riser. Because none of it matters if it doesn't translate onto the field. And again, that's why I think a lot of fans, maybe in previous years this would have been a bigger deal, but I think the show me, don't tell me mentality is really taking hold both inside and outside the program.
Well, you mentioned it. I love it too with Dana, just kind of saying, just shooting from the hip, right? And just being brutally honest about things, and being he's calculated though in the credit he gives to people, right? He was asked about TJ, right? He was asked about the quarterback 2 battle, and he brought up TJ, but then he was very quick to bring up Danny, right? And be like, Kalen he's got the highest completion percentage. And so from all and we've gotten a lot of Dana content over the last couple of weeks. What is kind of the thing that has stood out to you the most in some of the things that have grabbed headlines that Dana Holgorsen has said?
I guess just recency bias here. And we just heard a story about him today, but the Bonner X factor in this whole conversation, Janarian Bonner, I think looking back, that injury in Kansas City was a lot more detrimental than I think people realized, certainly at the time, and maybe even, by the time the season ended, just because he is such a unique piece in everything Nebraska does offensively. I mean, he can play 5 different positions. And I thought that Dana's comment where he's his own position, that really jumped out because it's true. I mean, there's not a player on this team that can play out wide, play in the slot, play tight end, play fullback, and do all of those things exceptionally well to where, like, he can always be on the field and be a valuable piece to whatever the play is.
Yeah.
And not having that last year, I think, changed a lot about what they were able to do, particularly on the perimeter. His blocking, he's arguably the best perimeter blocker on the team. He's probably one of their best edge blockers as far as that tight end receiver group. And just, his lead by example kind of persona, I thought that maybe was a bigger blow to what Nebraska wanted to do and then what they eventually could do without him than certainly I realized. So just that again, it's just something we put up a story today. So it's the first thing that popped in my head, but that jumped out, and I'm very curious to see what a healthy Janarian Bonner means to Nebraska's offense and the types of things that they're able to do with him on the field that they couldn't do last year because there's just not a player on the roster that can do all the things that he does.
Their red zone offense was not good. They were not good in the red zone last year. And it's another thing too. He speaks about, and he calls him, Janarian Bonner's nickname is Wood, which, by the way, great nickname. Awesome football nickname. He was like, the way that he talks about him, you could hear it in his tone how much he loves him as a football player. Like you can hear just the connection he has, and he loves all the different things that he does. So yeah, I think you're spot on. I didn't know that you wrote that article, but I definitely going to check it out because I think you're spot on, Robin. That injury, I don't think we realized the impact of that walking out of Arrowhead last year. I don't think anybody other than the people internally knew what that meant for them.
Yeah, that's not just Dana either. I mean,
Yeah.
You ask a rule, you ask every player, every coach, they'll all say the same thing. Like, Bonner is a critical piece to what they want to do. And again, I think that we didn't realize how big his loss was last year. And I think now we've all gained a much better idea of what his value will be to this team going forward.
You can check out that article and all the other great content you're pumping out at huskeronline.com. Robin Washut joining us every Monday here. Thank you so much, Robin. Get that lawn done. Get back to work. Make sure the edges are clean and show those neighbors up. All right, my friend?
Yep. We all got to set the standard around here. We can't just talk about it. We have to be about it. So I'm going to go be about it.
Hey, you got to every single week you're trying to go 1-0 on your lawn.
100%. You know what? And we're 0-0 right now. We got to go perfect this week. On to the next.
See you, Robin. Robin Washut, Husker Online and On 3.
The standard is the standard.
The ceiling is the roof, some might say.
Ooh.
I still don't understand that saying from Michael Jordan. He got up in front of the entire North Carolina Tar Heel fan base just to tell him the ceiling is the roof. What does that mean, Kobe Bryant? Are you the same beast but a different animal?
I just loved your question about, so would you say anything to this neighbor that has the dandelions? Because we're all in Robin's shoes. Right now, I got a bunch of tree limbs in my yard that I need to get a dumpster for, but that's a huge process and it costs money. Like, they're just strewn about my yard. It looks hellish. And I know I'm driving around the neighborhood. Everybody's looking at, everybody knows there's the guy with a bunch of tree limbs in his yard. A jackass.
My dad got called out about the lawn. He did.
You got a guy, don't you?
We didn't have the guy at the time.
Oh, okay.
And
now you have a
one
guy.
of the neighbors who were very close with, is like, hey, Mike, you got a lawn. We got to water it. We got to figure this out. And my dad is a very strong-head guy. He did not take it personally. He goes, Mart, we got to fix this lawn. We can't be those neighbors.
I know my yard right now looks like crap. I know there's tree limbs all over the place.
My dad, he got it fixed. He was like, this is our guy. This is what we do. Sanded it, put all the money. We got a great looking lawn now. Had it for a decade. But it took, I'm just saying right now, my dad got called out and my dad responded. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of my father. I'll say it. Some people, never mind. Let's take a break. I don't know where I'm going. Middays with Matt, 1620 zone. What are we watching tonight, Josh Hodgson?
Well, we're watching baseball, of course.
Baseball?
Yeah, you ever heard of it?
Yeah, in my spare time.
I watched so much baseball while I was.
Oh my God. Are you like kind of sad to be off vacation because your vacation was awesome?
I mean, I'm always sad to be off vacation. Yes.
Who isn't?
It's the Tigers and the Pirates for some reason. 6 o'clock tonight on ESPN. Oh, maybe Paul Skeens is pitching. No, he's not.
What? Why do they have a Pirates game and it's not Skeens?
I don't know. Maybe it was supposed to be Skeens and he got pushed back. I heard that would happen. But also baseball on our TVs, 6 o'clock on ESPNU. It is the American Legion World Series semifinals between Midland, Michigan, and Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yes.
Let's go Carpet Land.
Let's go Lincoln East. Congratulations to those boys.
WNBA on Peacock at 9 o'clock tonight. Dallas at Golden State. The Valkyries, second best record in the W, but I think we all knew that. 8 o'clock on FX tonight. It is the season 18 premiere of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. 2 episodes tonight. The guys help Frank with his cold feet ahead of his wedding to Sam. Dee tries to scare Sam off the nuptials with testimonies from the waitress, Artemis, and Snail, which are characters on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the longest running sitcom in television history.
Wait, that's not done yet?
No, still going, man.
Really?
Going strong. And been renewed for many years.
Is it going strong?
Well,
is that what you would classify that as? It's going strong?
It has been renewed for many years to come.
Because
at FX, they ain't got nothing
Family
else.
Guy still making episodes?
Yeah.
But Seth MacFarlane doesn't write them anymore. Very famous.
Yes, that is correct.
I like Family Guy. I wasn't allowed to watch Family Guy when I was younger.
Oh,
that was like
too edgy?
No, seriously.
Too vulgar?
That was like the only thing I was not allowed to watch growing up.
And then very quickly before we get out of here, if you are looking to relive the filmography of Hayden Panettiere as we lost her over the weekend, remember the Titans, A Bug's Life, and Dinosaur are on Disney Plus, and Scream 4 and Scream 6 are on Paramount Plus.
All right, folks, let's talk right now. I'm going to kill you.
Probably should have said something.
I'm going to rip his throat out. I will blow this man out. I will step on his throat until the man chokes. Let me tell you how. Dog. Winners. Dog. Winners. Dog. Winners. Dog. Winners. Dog. Winners. I'm on a roll.
Dude, you got to love dogs, right?
First, I want to say I am so fired up tonight for White Sox Cubs. I am. Luis Castillo on the mound. Shota Imanaga at Wrigley. That series is going to be awesome on TBS tomorrow. By the way, already spoiling.
Very
what to
funny.
Watch.
That's what they said. No, it's not.
The only funny thing they got going is what they call, quote, wrestling on that television channel. That's what I find funny about TBS.
Well, shots fired.
Plus 108, the Cincinnati Reds versus the St. Louis Cardinals tonight. Cardinals coming off of a really good series win against the Cubs. I think they falter to the Reds plus 108 for Cincinnati. So that's our dog of the day. I can't wait for it to be football dog season. So said everybody, because that's when we'll start keeping score. Okay. We'll start keeping score. We will start keeping score with the dogs come football season. All right. I promise. Hand up. Accountability. I will do that. All right. Fun show today. So great to have you back, Josh Hodgson. Clearly
Good to
not
be back.
Clearly not as great as you being on vacation. I say that jokingly. Of course, I'm very happy to have you back. Fun show today. Hit a lot of different topics. It was a ton of fun. We're going to keep having fun this entire week. Very much looking forward for what this show is going to continue to evolve and look like through football season. We're fired up for it, and we hope you're with us this football season. So it should be fun. What's going to be even more fun, USC and the crossover. Coming up next year on 1620 The Zone.